Wait, is my mic on? Okay, good. I was like, is my mic not on? It's here. It's here. You can hear me. I didn't realize, because I don't think last time I watched this game, I just left it idle in the main menu, that it plays like several different things if you wait a bit. This is like the third thing I think it's played. And it's different each time, I think. You're just not gonna post? You're supposed to post when I... Okay, alright, no, that's cool. Nah, you know, that's fine. That's fine. You don't want to post on the places, that's cool. Bro, what is wrong with Blue Sky? I hit paste. You're supposed to paste it in. You gonna make me do this shit? Don't test me like this, motherfucker. There you go. Fucking Blue Sky. Okay. Alright. 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 We're here. Let me just open up the stream on my end so I can make sure things are actually live and we're good to go. Okay, we are good. Twitch keeps telling me to show off this thing. Apparently, it is the anniversary of me having affiliate. Technically speaking, I've had it for many years, probably since like 2017, maybe 2016. I don't remember when I first got affiliate, but I haven't done too much with it since, because I think we had like a peak of my streaming. Oh my god, Jesus. You gotta chill. Wait, but actually this song is sick though? Hold on. Maybe I need to shut the fuck up and sit back and just wait for this to go through, okay? Maybe I'm the problem here. Oh, it's not inside of this. There we go. Well, that's not helpful, actually. There we go. Duplicates. What? Whoa, hold on. Why would you hide the game? Don't do that. Jesus. This one, we adjust the opacity. Just slightly. Making some quick tweaks. That could be better, but I could also just change the color too. Oh my god, don't like that. Don't like that. How about this one? Oh my god, please no. Please not like that. Please don't ever do that. Please get out of my house. Get out of my house! Lower this a bit more. And a bit more, I think. Make it like this. There you go. That way, it's not as disrupting as the old chat color thing was. I guess, if it helps. Don't know if it does, but there you go. Like that. Good enough, I guess. Fuck it. Did I not? I didn't actually open up my stream. Why didn't I do that? There we go. Now it's open. All right. All right, I think we're ready to go now. I think I got everything good. Everything's ready. It's time to continue with Chaos Head Noah. Oh my god. You guys thought, you said to yourself, but Wolfborg, you didn't stream Persona 3 yesterday. What the fuck was up with that? He's obviously not going to stream Chaos Head tonight. No, I'm here. We're streaming Chaos Head. We're streaming Chaos Head, okay? We're streaming Chaos Head tonight. We'll be continuing where we left off. I think we've just finished up Chapter 1 the last time, so now we're on Chapter 2. Well, let's see if we can get to Chapter 3 by the end of this. Who knows? We will continue. If I gave people voices last time, I don't remember them. This is a reoccurring problem I have. Don't worry about that. Load. It's this one, right? Yeah, this would be the only one because I erased all my other things from my old attempt at playing the game. Alright, it's time for Chapter 2. Vroom vroom. Quick. Get on if you're going on the field trip. All aboard. Lying face out on the floor, Nishijo Takumi held a colored pencil in his hand. The one he was currently using was yellow, having switched from a red one only a few minutes ago. He joyously ran his pencil across the spread-out sketchbook, which he was nearly lying on top of. Takumi loved drawing pictures. He would always doodle on the edges of his notes during every lesson at school. The morning news had been left running in the background, but since news and the like was boring to a fourth grader like Takumi, he did not pay it any mind. Vroom vroom, candy, get your candy here, only 300 yen! He was drawing a yellow bus and pretending he was the driver. All ashore, that's going ashore, we're heading out, vroom vroom! As he imagined the scene in his head, he made it actually happen in the picture. Times where he would get too excited and accidentally draw on the tatami beneath him were not exactly infrequent. Nanami, who would always read manga beside him, would scold him each time he did it. She had some nerve considering she was the little sister, usually saying things along the lines of, "Oh, come on, don't get the floor all dirty." Even so, Takumi never became any less immersed in his art. However, when he got to the point of drawing the people in the window, his hand suddenly stopped. Then he ripped up the sketchbook and threw it away. He just hates his fucking art that much, I guess. On the previous day, on the day where the autumn field trip had only been one more day away, Takumi had suddenly been told by his parents that he couldn't go. Aww. Bro. That shit's soul crushing, okay? You're a kid, you're hyped as fuck about a field trip or like special event thing, and then you just get told you're not going, but like you know everybody else is? Bro. That shit sucks. Even though it had been something he had been looking forward to for a very long time. So much so that he had been in a constant state of excitement for the entire day, wanting the next to arrive as soon as possible. That cruel declaration from his parents was something Takumi absolutely could not accept. He kicked and screamed, saying he would definitely go no matter what, but it was no use. His parents would not listen no matter what he said, choosing only to repeat the same words again and again. You just can't. We're doing this for you, Takumi. Takumi sank into his bed and trembled with so much frustration. He was very close to ripping his futon to shreds. He resented his parents from the bottom of his heart. For Takumi, that field trip had been a big, big event that could not have come soon enough. Man, what the fuck? God damn. Hold on. Okay, we're good. We are quote unquote good. Okay, let's continue. Oh, I am not selecting the game. There we go. Everyone else in his class could go, but he alone was not allowed to. From his perspective, that was beyond unreasonable. Takumi was in a lonely world. Everyone else was in a super fun world. Timon felt like he alone had been completely cut off from it. He could not forgive the teacher, his classmates, anyone. They all left him behind. So I fucking killed them. No. In a video game. In Minecraft. In GTA. And he especially could not forgive his parents for their sudden, unfair decision. Which he hasn't explained why, but there probably was a reason that they told him, maybe. Or there's some secret shit. But it was probably something like they tried to say why he can't go. He's like, why does that mean I can't go? I'm going. Or some dumb shit. I don't know. Those feelings transformed into pure hatred towards his parents and towards all of his classmates. Takumi bit his lip hard enough to draw blood. Jesus. He muttered curses at them over and over. I don't think anyone should be allowed to go. He says, if I can't have fun, no one can. Kind of base, TBH. Okay, there we go. The following morning arrived. The phone had been ringing over and over again since dawn. Each time his mother would pick up the phone, she seemed to be very shaken while talking. Takumi could not even get a wink of sleep. The clock passed 9 a.m. In her usual well-behaved manner, Nanami was sitting on a floor cushion, reading manga. She had told Takumi the day before, I'm gonna take a break from school to keep you company, Kay? As if she thought it was the obvious thing for her to do. Their father had already gone to work, so he was not around. Their mother was very busy with the phone calls and had yet to prepare breakfast. There was no need for him to go to school that day. Sullen as he was, Takumi opened his sketchbook and began drawing to distract himself. His feelings of rage refused to subside, so he tore up the sketchbook in frustration. As he did that, however... Konobasu? Nanami sounded puzzled. Takumi had thought she was talking about his picture, but her gaze was actually aimed at the TV. Nanami called out loudly to her mother, who was still busy with the phone calls. Now listening, Takumi followed his sister's gaze and stared vacantly at the TV screen. The screen displayed a scene of a collapsed, elevated highway. A section that was only about 50 meters long had fallen. Regrettably, a bus driving along there at the time had been caught up in the collapse, toppling onto its side beneath the overpass. It was the very same bus that Takumi should have been on, the bus his classmates were riding on. From just a single glance, Takumi could imagine exactly what had happened. His classmates were on the screen. One child was sobbing, another had blood all across their forehead, and another was lying atop a stretcher, being carried into an ambulance. The reporter was announcing the state of the accident with a grave look on their face, but Takumi did not really understand what they were talking about. His mother was standing at the entrance to the room, holding a cordless phone. Her face was pale. It's all because he tore up the notebook where he drew the bus, right? It's all because of that. Did he just rip up the highway they were on and that's why it collapsed? It's on TV right now. Mr. Saito died. For some reason, Takumi was already sure of this. Everything happening on the TV was eerily similar to what he had pictured in his head the night before, when he had been overwhelmed by frustration and hatred. There was only one feeling that occupied the depths of his mind, a peculiar conviction, one where he was sure that he had precognitive abilities. So the real question is, did he see this in the future and just happen to also be angry about the situation at the same time? Or did him being angry cause the future situation to happen, which is how he knows about it? This is the real question here. But for now, all we know at the very least is that, like, he knew ahead of time that the event would happen. Whether or not he caused the event to happen in some kind of weird way, that's a different story, I guess. Because, I mean, if we already have precognitive powers, then, and we're also saying he was mad at the same time, it would be a stretch. Wouldn't be a stretch, I don't think. But, you know, we'll keep going. Long ago, a show on TV that examined people who claimed to have ESP had been etched into Takumi's mind. A person with precognitive abilities had appeared on the show, shocking the world by demonstrating frightening ESP in the experiment. The experiment verified whether or not the psychic could guess which of 12 items were placed in which numbered box. They did this by placing the subject in a different room, then proceeding to have them predict which cards with the item name on them belong in which box. Afterwards, staff members in the other room would place the actual items into boxes, then verify how many the psychic foretold. The person on the show received an incredible 90% correct, causing an uproar among the entertainers. As this happened, Takumi tested if he could predict things the same way the psychic on TV did, only to get every single one correct. Of course, he did not tell anyone else about this. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain it, but... I mean, it'd be hard to explain, but not that hard to, like, show it off, I guess. Like, you could verify it pretty easily, couldn't you? I mean, you just correctly guess some shit like, I'm gonna roll this dice, like, 10 times, and I'm gonna get this D20 roll correct every single time. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to do, to prove to people, but, you know, it's kind of makes you look crazy. But we're already living in a shipping container, so I don't think it matters at this point if we look crazy. So as he gazed up at the TV, he believed that the accident was yet another instance of his precognitive predictions being exactly right. His mother tried hugging him as he lay down, but Takumi avoided her grasp and crawled to the corner of the room. So, I mean, it doesn't sound like the mother has precognitive abilities, because, like, I was wondering if, like, maybe they didn't let him go on the field trip because they knew this was going to happen. But the mother sounds, at least, very shocked. And it could also be an act, I don't know. Yeah. Her eyes swam about as she whispered in a hollow voice. Takumi felt sick. They were useless, he thought to himself. His abilities had not made a single difference. Just thinking about it made his heart turn to ice in an instant. How's it going, Turndo? After that, Takumi stopped speaking to others for a while. He quite literally went mute. He did not say a single word to another soul. His parents worried about him, and their already overprotective habits escalated even further. Finding them to be acting more and more ridiculous, Takumi thus decided to play the role of a mute boy. He thought of it as revenge against them. That'll show them. That'll really show them. Due to his complete lack of talking, his mother took him to be seen in the psychiatry ward of the general hospital, and there he was diagnosed with PTSD. Since Takumi did not actually have PTSD or anything of the sort, he never once took his medicine. He merely pretended to. Wait. Am I understanding what's happened correctly? He decided to be quiet, to say fuck you for not letting me go on the trip? And so they just assumed he had PTSD over not going on the bus. And so he's just like, yeah, well, but I don't really have PTSD, so I'm just not. But all of this just because he wanted to be quiet as revenge, and they just, okay, all right. His parents never realized he was acting, and in the end, he didn't even feel even a hint of pity. Oh, that's outside. Oh, that was thunder outside. Is it like raining or something? Maybe raining out there. Anyways, his parents never realized he was acting, and in the end, he didn't feel even a hint of pity as they worried themselves sick over him. Alright, back to our gaming lair. Hold on, wait. Oh, God. People, stop, please. Stop messaging me. Leave me alone, please. I'm sorry. I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay? Don't worry. Everything felt like a lie. The world was filled with falsities. It was overflowing with malice. It was out to get me. Yeah, because that's what a sane person says. Oh yeah, this is our stalker GF, who is now I know everything GF. I've been not only stalking you but investigating you, GF. It's fine. We're still a thing. After bombarding me with her nonsensical theories, Yua had said that one last thing before she'd left. There's no way I could believe her. How the hell was I supposed to believe someone that's been lying to me this entire time? I refuse to believe that everything there was me, like Yua had said. Everything she'd said about me being Shogun was a total joke. I want to believe that. But when I checked the timestamps in the chat log, there was no mistaking that the conversation wasn't matching up. Yeah, but that doesn't explain that that was me, though. But, right? Because, like, we're messaging back and forth. Are we going to show it? Oh? I've been sleepwalking. But, like, maybe I have to remember what the logs looked like, because if it was all my messages and then all Shogun's messages, then that would make sense. But if it was like a back and forth thing, and mine stayed on the current day and his stayed on like the next couple days or something like that, then like that would also involve like time travel bullshit. So not just, but I don't think, well, whatever. Sleepwalking. Sleepwalking, also known as somnambulism or noctambulism, a behavior disorder in which during sleep, especially non-REM sleep, the subject gets up as if they were conscious, wanders around, eats, bathes, etc., but cannot converse beyond simple topics. Depending on the individual, the state can last anywhere from a few minutes to half an hour. At the end of that time frame, the individual returns to the place where they were initially sleeping and goes back to sleep. While in this state, the individual is completely unconscious and as such has no memory of their actions once they wake up. This behavior often occurs in people with mental problems and is often said to be caused unconsciously by stress. Problem was, during the time Shogun appeared to be posting in chat, I hadn't been sleeping at all. If I recall correctly, I had indeed been at Cafe at that time, but I hadn't slept. So I couldn't have been sleepwalking. 048 Fujoshi, a lot of interesting things in that. Yeah, we have Fujoshi, got Vidya, got Normie, okay? We got a whole bunch of, yeah, this one described as a female otaku with a particular interest in yaoi, or works of fiction that depict homosexual relationships between men. It does not apply to female otaku as a whole. And we got a whole bunch of interesting things in our guide here. Okay, we got trolling, we got calm your tits. That's in the tips guide. Okay, we got a lot of info here. We got a lot of stuff. If I recall correctly, I had indeed been at cafe at the time, but I hadn't slept, so I couldn't have been sleepwalking. In that case, I wondered why I didn't have any memories of posting as Shogun. Maybe my body had been being controlled by someone else, which would mean no. The fact that it's raining outside and it's just thundering is making this experience a little creepier than intended, but I think it adds to the stream here. No, that's ridiculous. Wait, I got like some food on the desk. I got some open CD cases. Is that Pocky? I got some Pocky. I have several discs just lying around next to my keyboard. I would not trust that shit. And then Seiratan. Okay, I felt that the best way to calm myself down was to escape from reality into the fictional world of ESO. In ESO, everything was fake, a lie. At the end of the day, its world was just part of a video game. But in Baselard, I could become the godlike existence known as Neidhart. A fabrication like that, a lie like that, was something I'd readily accept. I wanted to stay there. Nobody would mind if I did, would they? Or maybe the world of ESO was actually the real world, and my own reality was the fake one, just a game. In that case, Nishido Takumi would be a fictional character, and Neidhart would be the true form. We're getting to advanced levels of escapism.
Neidhart.
I called out to the paladin standing inside the monitor. Was I controlling you? Or were you controlling me? Which was it? Could you be real and I a mere avatar? What if the world I was in was just a game in and of itself? If that were true, that would solve every mystery I was struggling with. What if, just like how I was staring at Neidhart within my monitor, what if someone was staring at me in the exact same way? Whose eyes are those eyes? That would make them the player controlling me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? If I did have someone controlling me, you totally don't. Wolfborg, is it really raining outside? Apparently. I'm assuming so because I keep hearing thunder every now and then. I just heard it again. I don't know if my mic's picking it up too. And it also might also get fucked up because I have my AC running. So I don't even know if you can make out that there's thunder on occasion. Outside my house. But I took off my headphones to check and it is actually like thundering at the very least. Chappy knows. He doesn't know shit. He doesn't know anything, okay? He doesn't know. He doesn't know the truth. I will say this, okay? Because I played through Anonymous Code. I played through all of that off stream when that came out, okay? I don't know if I'd stream it. Maybe in the future. It'd be a while away if I ever did. But several of these science adventure games try to have these little ideas of like, oh, is someone controlling me? Or am I playing this game or is the game playing me? And like tries to break the fourth wall with this. This is doing it here. Steins Gate, it does at the very beginning with him talking into like the monitor of the alpaca game where they're trying to like get the alpaca to do something. And it's like trying to like talk and introduce himself to you, the player. Anonymous Code directly just like was like, hey, you person playing the game, you want to help us out? Like it was doing that kind of thing, which is kind of annoying in Anonymous Code, I won't lie, but in these kind of games, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. If I did have someone controlling me, would it kill them to do less of a shit job? Really? Takumi. I'm doing my best, Takumi. I'm doing my best. It's not my fault you put yourself in this situation to begin with, and you're trying to give me... You only give me the choice of which delusion you want to do, Takumi. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? No, I guess an avatar couldn't really complain. It would also explain how Shogun and I could be the same person, validating that theory. Come to think of it, it was kind of like what Lieselot was. Neidhart and Lieselot couldn't possibly exist in Bazelard at the same time. I was the one playing as them after all. Maybe Shogun and Nishijou Takumi were similar and couldn't exist in the world at the same time. It was also possible that it was a bug. Well, but hold on. But we had the scene towards the beginning where Shogun joined the chat while our other friend was also in the chat. And he didn't say anything until our friend left, but he joined the chat, and our friend acknowledged that he joined the chat and then continued talking to us. Right? That did happen. Okay, it's also possible it was a bug. Speaking of bugs, encountering, which, with that website, how that looked, I would 100% believe it was a bug with the timestamps. I would believe, my first assumption was not be that this dude is actually, like, schizophrenic and messaging himself off different accounts. I would not assume that. I would assume that website is dog shit based on the timestamps, and actually it's just going off whatever time zone that person is currently in, and that's why the times seem off. That's more so what I would assume, okay? I think that's what any person would assume, but okay. The image Shogun had sent me flashed through my mind. I gripped my head with my hands and frantically shook it away. I wanted to run away from everything. If maybe, just maybe, there was a player controlling me. Which there's totally not. Please reset me already. Oh, alright. If that's what you want. No. No. Actually, no. How about no? How about we continue this? Just remake my character and start from scratch. Please. Oh. Game's done. He goes to the hospital, and we're done. The waiting room at the university hospital was filled to the brim with middle-aged people waiting to be examined. The view hadn't changed from a few years prior. It almost made me feel as if time itself had stopped there. Moreover, everyone there looked miserable, and the smell of disinfectant pervaded the stagnant air. It was the kind of place that sucked all the life out of you and made you wish for the sweet embrace of death in 5 minutes tops. That's alright. I didn't like hospitals. Alright, that's fair. The way the lobbies had countless people, yet the corridors beyond felt completely devoid of them, had always freaked me out ever since I was a little kid. It almost felt like the corridors themselves absorbed and stewed in the stench of death. I always felt like this was what a hospital truly represented beyond its outer facade. I even thought that some horrifying creature was lying in wait deep within the corridors. Oh my god. Jesus, dude. Calm down. That was why I really didn't want to go there. But there was something I had to make sure of no matter what, so I found myself reluctantly waiting my turn in line for an examination. Even when I tried to fully immerse myself in ESO, the bombshell that Yua had dropped on me continued to swirl around and around inside my head, and I hadn't been able to concentrate for even a second. As a result, my mind had been torturing me with all the various possibilities, all the way until morning, and I had been genuinely scared that something was wrong with me. That was why I went to the hospital, to get an official stamp of approval from a medical professional that said, Nishijou Takumi is completely normal. It's Frank from Always Sunny going to the hospital to get a note from his doctor saying, I don't have donkey brains. It's official. I wanted to prove that it wasn't me who was abnormal, but Yua. I was used to coming to the hospital psych ward, and yet when the grill at the You really doing this? Are we doing this? We're really doing... When the grill at the reception asked, is this your first time? I nodded without thinking. You know what grill means, right? Girl. We're doing this? We're doing this? Takumi? Maybe I can forgive it if you were typing in your MMO to your bro, but... You're thinking to yourself. You're thinking to yourself. You're narrating to yourself. The grill at the reception. Takumi, what are you doing? How could you be cringe in your own mind like that too? What is this? Ever since that bus accident, my mother had regularly taken me here for checkups. During middle school, my physician said that I'd completely recovered, and I stopped going after that. This was my first time coming back in about 4.5 years. Oh, shit. Oh. My first physician had been some senile professor who was supposed to have some authority. Thunder at the same time as this. If you're cringe on the internet, then you're cringe in the brain. Listen. My first physician had been some senile professor who was supposed to have some authority in the field. But I'd only seen him a few times, and after that, someone else had taken over. Student of his or something. All right, boys. We got choices. We got the positive delusion, the negative delusion, or no delusion. I think the delusions are fun little short memes. The last time, though, we were talking to Yua. I did the bad delusion. We didn't have like a little throwaway scene. It continued on with her like revealing things and like completely changing as a person. So some of these might be permanent, okay? Some of these might be permanent, or maybe it changes the dialogue of the scene as it happens, maybe. I don't know. So we're going to the doctors. I'd like some positivity when I'm in the hospital, at least. We can delude ourselves into thinking everything's fine. I think everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Although despite calling himself the other guy's student, he hadn't been particularly young. To be honest, he looked pretty old. The night before, I was reminded of something that Dr. Takashina had said.
ここは病気や怪我だけじゃなくて心にも効く病院なんだよ。
I hated hospitals, but that doctor had been very nice. He left a good impression on me, and I thought he was a good person. Well, even then, I'd still thoroughly fooled all the adults to the very end. That is, except Dr. Takashina. He'd seen through it all, and he was the one that declared me completely recovered.
あの人に調べてもらえれば。
I wondered what he'd say if he learned that I'd become an otaku freak. Nah, there was no way he'd remember me after all this time. Nah, there's no way. Unless... It didn't take long for me to be called into the examination room. I'd expected to be waiting there for quite a while, but I guess I was wrong. Why had there been so many people in the lobby then? Maybe they were being paid to sit there just to make it look busy. It was a different examination room than the one from 4 years ago, but when I stepped inside, I was welcomed with a face I remembered dearly.
いやー、西條くん。
That's him. Dr. Takashina rose to his feet with a familiar smile and reached his hand out to me. Realizing he was searching for a handshake, I hurriedly reciprocated.
また君に会えて嬉しいよ。いや、嬉しいというのは変かな。
Yeah, that's true.
君にしてみれば、またここに来るというのは辛いことなわけだからね。
Despite it being 4 years since we'd last seen each other, he was incredibly friendly. My slight nervousness that I had been struggling with was eased in seconds.
それで、今日はどうしたんだい?
He gestured for me to sit down, so I did. Likely due to all the tension melting away, I told him everything about what had happened to me and what might happen to me in the future. I stumbled over my words many times, probably because I wasn't used to talking so much, but Dr. Takashina didn't rush me. He listened to me intently with a serious look on his face, while offering occasional interjections to make sure I knew he was following. Of course, I also told him about everything about Yua and the demon girl. I considered that doing so might be dangerous. Right now, he was the only person I could rely on.
結論から先に言おうか。
Yeah? What is it? You diagnosed me, Doc? After hearing everything I had to say, Dr. Takashina pondered for a moment, then began to speak.
君は正常だよ。
We're all clear, boys?
何の
We're all
問題
clear.
もない。
Oh, thank you, Doc. Oh, alright, so how much was the copay?
本当です
Oh,
か。
we're in Japan. We're in Japan.
もちろん。
Those were the words I'd wanted to hear more than anything. I dragged myself to the hospital for the sole purpose of hearing them. I was scared that he'd tell me there was something wrong with me, and I had no idea what I would have done if he had. But getting checked out by Dr. Takashina had been the right choice after all.
むしろおかしいのはその
True.
楠木さんという女性だね。
True! It's everybody else that's the problem, not me.
西条くんの話だけで判断するのは難しいが、おそらくその女性は精神的な障害を患っているだろう。
Wait, I see you did the potato chip redeem, but I don't hear anything. Hold on. Is it on? Oh, it's not on. Oh shit, it just finished too, as I turned it back on. Wait, why was it off in this scene? I turned it back on in another scene, which means it should be back on in this scene. Well, it's back on now. I don't know if there's a delay on when you can do it, though, but... Wait, is there a way for me to get it to redo it? It won't let me through this. Well, shit. Well, it will work when you play it again. Supposedly. Allegedly. Perhaps. Tabun. Maybe. Okay. Next time. Alright. That reminds me, I have to at some point figure out how to adjust the channel point redeems. We can add more shit to channel point redeems. I can change up the sounds that you guys can choose. I could set up a text-to-speech voice thing that you could do. These are all things that I need to set up. I need to stop being lazy with that shit. We gotta vamp up the stream stuff. I gotta do all that. I gotta make us some emotes, okay? But the emote thing will be a little trickier because I'm gonna need like a nicer cartoonized version of me that I could do for that and either make those myself or hire somebody else to do it. More likely I'm gonna hire somebody else to do them, probably. But I don't know, something like that. We gotta ramp up some of the stream memes here. I gotta do those. We gotta get some more clips going on some of this shit, so it's easier for us to share those around and stuff. I'm gonna be probably trying to make some like shorts to post those of like some stream stuff in the future too. Post those on like YouTube. I don't know about TikTok, but maybe like YouTube shorts or some shit. See how those do. Or post them to Twitter. We gotta do other things other than just play the games, okay? We gotta do more. We gotta do more if we actually want to grow this stuff, boys. We gotta get bigger. Anyways, potato chips. Death Note potato chips. That's what I'm trying to say here. I take potato chip and eat it too. That's all you gotta know. Alright, so they don't go to judge for your story alone, but the girl may have been suffering from some kind of mental disability. That's what I'm saying! I'm always saying this.
今後君に危険を及ぼすような行動に出る可能性が
That's very true, actually. She
す
probably
ぐ
will.
に警察に通報しよう。
That's also true. She's been stalking me, Doctor, for like several weeks too. So the police, true, that was probably the safest option. He was right. There had been something wrong with Yua. She was batshit insane. The thought of her stalking me again sent shivers down my spine.
もちろん僕も責任を持って君を保護するつもりだ。
Oh my god, what a savior. Looking at me with a powerful, reassuring gaze, Dr. Takashina clapped his hands on my shoulder, encouragingly. He even handed me his business card, complete with his phone number.
何か問題が起きたらいつでも連絡をくれて構わないよ。
Alright, it's definitely... I can hear the rain hitting the AC now, so it's definitely raining here now. If any problems occur, do not hesitate to contact me at any time.
24時間
24 hours a day? 7 days a week? Oh my god, doctor! Holy shit, how much am I paying you?
いいんですか?
That's insane.
当たり前だよ。僕は君の主治医なんだから。
Oh my god, you do this for all your patients? I was on the verge of tears. I was truly grateful to be under his care. From the bottom of my heart. Doctors as good as him were hard to find nowadays.
悪魔女のことについても通報した方が良さそうだね。
Yeah. I probably should have done that first, honestly, Doc. You know, you're right about that.
西条くん、君の見たその女がニュージェネの真犯人で間違いないよ。
This is totally fantasy
ものすごい
Japan.
目撃証言だ。
Well, right now we're in delusion mode, so it's fine. All the bending and warping of the room. I think I trust this doctor. I trust him. Nishijo-kun, the girl you saw must be the true culprit. I mean, yeah, probably. There's no mistaking you carry an incredible witness testimony. Dr. Takashina seemed somewhat excited, but you couldn't tell from his tone. As always, he spoke calmly.
事件は西条くんのおかげで解決だ。
All thanks to me?
君は渋谷のヒーローだよ。
That's me?
僕はこの瞬間に立ち会えて、実に
Oh
光栄
my
に思
god,
う。
Doc. Oh my god. I was a hero? Is this the ESO music for the MMO he's playing? Yeah, we did it, boys. We beat the game. All we had to do was talk to the cops. Go to the doctor. Everything's fine now. That's all we had to do. We're a hero. This is amazing. I don't want to hit continue because I don't want this delusion to end. We did it, boys. This wasn't ESO. There was no way someone like me could be a hero. No way in hell. But when I imagined it, my face just about broke into a grin. Middle school girls, high school girls, college girls, MILFs, all of them would be screaming my name and how much they love me. I'd be renowned all over the world as one of the most charismatic people to ever live from my shipping container. Being a TV celebrity sounded cool and all, but I didn't want to appear in front of people, so I'd create a startup company instead. All right, boys, it's time to start up the Bitcoin scam. We got to get that going. Then I'd become a hugely charismatic boss making the big bucks. I'd be surrounded by a harem of beautiful secretaries serving my every need. And, of course, I'd trip all their flags and make them go crazy over me, naturally. I'd have a high-rise apartment in Roppongi and hire a bunch of cute maids. It'd be like my own personal maid cafe. Of course, I'd be indulging in the endlessly passionate nightly services. JK, just kidding. That's a funny... That's the funny meme. I'm screen capping that for future reference. JK!
まさに勝ち組
I wanted life. We won, boys. We did it. Oh. I abruptly came to my senses, only to find myself sitting on a sofa in the lobby. Unable to grasp what exactly was going on, I frantically looked around the room. Beside me was a hunched-over old lady. Her eyes were covered in wrinkles, so I couldn't tell whether she was asleep or awake. I took a look at the clock above the reception desk, and I saw that I'd been waiting in the lobby for a full hour. Had that all been just a dream? I hadn't slept last night, so had I dozed off while waiting? How glorious it would be if that dream was actually real. Talk about disappointing. In the end, I found myself waiting for another 2 hours before my name was finally called. When I entered the examination room, it almost felt like the same events I'd seen in that dream were happening again. Dr. Takashina even appeared almost exactly like he had in the dream. It was probably just like he'd barely changed since the last time I saw him 4 years ago. But this time he didn't rise from his seat, nor did he offer to shake my hand.
今日はどうしました?
Yeah, I can help ya. And unlike the dream, he didn't seem especially happy to see me again. I'm like the 50th person he's probably had to see today, bro. You can chill.
西条です。
ん? ああ、これはご丁寧に。
No, you actually know me from 4 years. You know me, actually. You saw me 4 years ago. That means we know each other. We're best buds.
高階です。はじめまして。
He bowed his head cheerfully. I was lost for words. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. That's what he just said. He'd completely forgotten me. I shouldn't be surprised. It'd been 4 years after all. But I truly believed that Dr. Takashina, of all people, would remember me. Maybe that was arrogant, but I'd hoped for it all the same. So my heart was overwhelmed with loneliness and emptiness when Those expectations were smashed to pieces. It felt like my very existence was being denied. Dr. Takashina started talking to me while making eye contact, but I averted my eyes.
無遊病かどうか調べてほしいと書いてあるが、何かあったのかな?
Right, I had written that on the questionnaire, but it was all meaningless now. He didn't remember me at all. Seiratan!
先生が覚えてようが覚えてなかろうが関係ないっしょ。最初の目的を忘れちゃダメ。
You're so true, Seiratan. What was my mission? But you're so true. You're so real. You're so based for that, Seiratan. You're so big. She had told me, she had warned me before. Okay, don't trust anybody. Don't talk to anybody. Okay, don't speak with that harlot that's been stalking me. All right, she tried to warn me, and I didn't listen, and now I'm here. So you know, I'm just lucky she's here to keep supporting me. We're lucky for that. Oh right, I hadn't come here to meet Dr. Takashina. I'd come here to prove that I was completely healthy and a sane human being. Our reunion was merely a bonus. Who gives a shit if he'd forgotten me? If Seiratan hadn't stepped in and given me that advice, I would have come dangerously close to losing sight of myself. Phew.
自分でも知らないうちに外に出かけててパソコンで文章打っててそれを全く覚えてないなんてありえますか?
Oh my god, he is super nervous right now.
おお。
知り合いからそう指摘されて混乱しちゃって。
Man, I feel so bad for him. Just listening to the voice actor. I feel so bad for him. He's like so scared about the situation. He's probably about to get brushed off by the doctor too.
その知り合いの人が冗談を言っているっていう可能性はあると思うかい?
Man. No, I don't think that. But also she is crazy. Yua's eyes had been serious. It hadn't looked like she was messing with me at all. At the very least, I had no doubt that Yua believed what she said.
わかりません。
なるほど。ちなみに、その知り合いとはどういう関係だろう?
Sort of, Doc. She was stalking me everywhere I went. Sort of went out with me for like 2 days.
Huh?
Where the hell did that come from? It wouldn't have to do with anything. Was I missing something here?
いや、言い方が悪かったかな。じゃあ言い直そう。その知り合いの人は、君が意識もないまま歩き回っているのを実際に目撃したのかな?
I don't believe so? Oh, so that's what he meant. I shook my head.
じゃあ、証拠はないわけだ。
So what you're saying, Doc, what you're telling me is I gotta set up a camera. I gotta set up a camera in my room. I gotta watch myself. I gotta stream myself on twitch.tv. Or would it be Justin TV back then? I gotta stream myself on blog TV. That's what you're telling me, Doc? I once again shook my head.
そいつ探偵気取りっていろいろ証拠を突きつけてきて。
そういうことか。ちなみに、これまでにも無遊病の兆候はあったかい?
Not that I know of?
いえ。
朝目覚めたらいつものベッドじゃなくて違う場所で寝てたっていうことは過去に一度でもあった?
Have we? I don't think we have.
いえ。
じゃあ、その知り合いに言われたのが初めてっていうことだね。
That I would know about. After nodding weakly, I steeled myself and spoke.
僕、寝てないんです。
もしかして怖いのかな。でもそんなに深刻になる必要はないよ。
いや、その。
That's not what I meant. But I couldn't figure out how to explain it. And it was too late to say it out loud anymore. I was too flustered. But it'd It'd probably be called just delusional TV. True. After scribbling something on a medical form, Dr. Takashina swiveled away from me in his chair and leaned forward towards the back of the examination room.
葉月くん、ちょっと。
はい。
Hello, Hazuki. Hello. The young nurse rushed over to him, and Dr. Takashina showed her the form. As he did, he whispered for her to do something, and she quickly withdrew to the back of the room. What had that been about? The doctor turned back towards my puzzled self. Then, in a gentle voice, began to explain to me how sleepwalking worked. When a person falls asleep, they first begin non-REM sleep before eventually progressing to REM sleep. Non-REM sleep is a deeper sleep where the brain hibernates and brain activity ceases. Meanwhile, REM sleep is a kind of sleep where the body is resting, but the brain is active in a state that's fairly close to being awake.
無遊病はノンレム睡眠の時に起きやすいって言われてる。脳が通常の活動をしていないから、普通の受け答えとかは成立しにくいけど、ちゃんと返事もするし、階段などを踏み外さずに上り下りすることだってできる。原因としては、精神的なストレスを抱えてる時になりやすいんだ。子供に多い症状だけど、成人でもよくある症状なんだよ。これでは。
But I hadn't been sleeping. Even though I hadn't been sleeping, I'd still done things I don't remember. The time Shogun had been posting from room 37 in the chat room should have been when I was busy playing ESO. Could sleepwalking really be possible there? I wanted to ask him that, but he was already moving to a different topic.
無遊病かどうかを調べる方法としてはいくつかある。一番手っ取り早いのはここのベッドで寝てもらうことだね。
You gotta do a sleep test. You gotta do a sleep test.
ただ、特定条件じゃないと発生しない場合もあるかもしれない。例えば、自分のベッドじゃないとダメとか。意識がない状態で出歩くにしても、目的もなくふらふらと歩き続けるのか。それとも、何らかの脅迫観念があって、それに影響されて何らかの一連の目的を持って出歩いているのか。それに君の精神状態についても特定の条件下じゃないとダメかもしれない。どうする？とりあえず寝ていってみるかい？
Yeah, might as well, Doc. You know, we could just try it out. I had nothing to lose, so I didn't see a reason not to try. Then, after I proved I wasn't sleepwalking, I could try asking the real question I had in mind. Alright, going to sleep. The nurse from before, Hazuki-san or something, guided me over to the hospital bed located at the back of the room. As it wasn't a bed meant for sleeping, it was firm and uncomfortable. Then again, considering the sofa I usually slept on, that shouldn't pose any problems for me.
3時間くらいしたら起こしに行きますから。
The nurse was pretty damn cute. As I lied down on the bed, I took a quick peek at her face while being careful to avoid eye contact. Her baby face made her look kind of unreliable, and she even had this almost despondent aura about her. But she was doing her job pretty well. She felt like a heroine right out of a classic eroge, one with kinky hospital sex.
できるだけ目は離さないようにしていますので、安心して眠ってくださいね。
Basically, if symptoms of sleepwalking occurred, like I started wandering around on my own, she'd make sure to take care of me.
それでは、ごゆっくり。
Alright, good night, chat. After giving a slight smile, the nurse closed the curtain and left the hospital room. Now, surrounded by a pure white curtain, I took a deep breath. All around me, I could hear the voices of doctors examining patients, the sound of nurses running around, and the sound of the door to the examination room opening and closing. Yeah, I doubted I'd be able to relax here. Could I actually fall asleep like this? Oh. Figuring I had nothing to lose, I closed my eyes. No matter what I did, my mind refused to think of anything other than that corpse that had been massacred and crucified with stakes. as well as the gory pictures Shogun had sent me. So I forcibly conjured Seiratan into my mind. Oh boy. There she is. Oh, delusion time. Oh my god.
外出嫌いなのに病院来るなんてすごい。
Alright, boys. Positive, negative, or no delusions? We just did a positive delusion. Maybe we do negative now. And she fucking kills us, probably. She might fucking kill us. Seiratan might fucking murder us. So, I think we do this. And we see what that does.
私前から思ってたんだけどさ、タッキーって
I
実はすごく
am
強
super
い
duper
男の子
strong.
だよね。
You're so true, Seiratan. So true. Seira animatedly moved about in my delusion. Her cute voice chirped for me.
私そんなタッキーの強さが好き。
Again, it is raining. That is thunder not in the game. That is thunder outside of my house, if you heard that. Can't be your waifu if she can't kill you.
そ
True.
れにタッキーは無遊病なんかじゃないよ。私毎日
You
タッキーの
do?
こと見てるもん。だからわかるさ。
You're a gosh darn Taki expert? Oh my god, Seiratan, why didn't you tell me before? We could just go home.
三次元女になんか騙されちゃダメだぞ。
True.
私がいるっしょ。
You can't let 3D girls trick you. Why did I say 30? What is wrong with me? I can't read.
またあのコンテナハウスで二人きりで過ごそうね。ボケなす。
Come on, Taki. Let's go back to our shipping container. Let's go. Fuhihihi, Seiratan. You're so cute, Seiratan. She really was my ideal waifu. There wasn't a single woman better than her. 3D? The fuck was that? I want to go home already. I want to go home and have Seiratan welcome me back with a smile. Wait for me, okay, Seiratan? I'll be coming home soon. Alright, we're locked in, boys. We are locked in. Well, I got a notification that I need to get rid of on Discord. There we go. Okay. She opened the door to the examination room and was greeted by the doctor's smiling face.
今日はどうしました？
Ignoring the question, she examined her surroundings. The examination room was not particularly large. Atop the doctor's desk sat one blank medical chart, then another that was filled out in a language that was not Japanese. They called her a demon. Everyone did, even her own parents. Had she always been a demon, or did everyone calling her one, or did everyone calling her one cause her to become one? After all this time, it did not matter to her either way. Regardless, she had slaughtered 8 people over the past month or so. Am I just in the same room sleeping while we're having several patients come in? Have we been doing this? Society called it madness, casting her actions into the realm of infamy. But from her perspective, they were nothing more than numbers. She was a demon after all.
何か気になりますか？
Yeah, the patient you have back there, I'm gonna fucking kill him real quick. Can you just wait here?
もし気になるものがあるなら言ってください。
He was very sensitive to the needs of his patients, something befitting of a psychiatrist. Finding this truly heartwarming, she opened the bag she brought along, and from that bag she slowly took out a 24-centimeter long kitchen knife. Uh-oh.
それとももっと広い部屋にか
Maybe we should change rooms real quick, maybe. Maybe that would help. The doctor cut his offer short upon seeing the knife. His face stiffened. Sensing his terror, she gave a gentle smile. The doctor would be the 9th. He had not been her intended target, but she might as well make the most out of the opportunity. Placing her bag on the ground, she approached the doctor with long, soundless strides. Then, maintaining her fierce momentum, she flew towards the doctor's chest and plunged the knife deep inside. The knife slipped past his ribcage, reaching his heart. That single thrust had spelled the end for the doctor's life. The doctor, now no more than an object to her, collapsed against her body. For a moment, she supported his weight so that she could remove the knife, and then, once she was done, she knocked the object away with her elbow. No. Oh, Hazuki, get out of here! Get out of here! The object was lying face up on the floor. Its white coat dyed a deep crimson. The nurse who had run over to investigate the commotion let out a scream. In one large step, she trampled over the doctor's corpse and slashed at the nurse with the knife. Yeah, you're supposed to get the fuck out of there. Fresh blood danced through the air. While it was no fatal wound, it likely etched a rough scar on the docile-looking nurse's face. Jesus Christ. With a scream, the nurse clutched at her face and crashed to the floor, oceans of blood spilling out from the gaps between her fingers. Ignoring this, she continued towards the back of the examination room. The 10th would not be the nurse. It was a momentous occasion. The 10th, double digits. So it had to be the target she had originally come for. Everything around her was chaos. The other patients and nurses had long since screamed and ran away. But she did not lend an ear to their cries. She simply searched for him, someone who was most definitely there. Her eyes stopped on a curtain. The curtain was partitioning off a section of the room that was bent 2 to 3 square meters large. Why did I say bent? That was between 2 to 3 square meters large. A section that likely contained a bed. There you are. Her heart trembled with jubilation. The sheer thought of killing him made her nether regions grow hot. Why would we describe it like, alright. She slowly closed the gap between her and the curtain. Then, instead of opening it normally, she slashed it open with the knife. And when she peeked through the newly opened gap, he was lying on the bed, just like she had expected him to be. I found you. Now that she had seen him, she could not contain herself any longer. She pushed her way through the curtain, and now she stood right by the bed. He was sleeping with a slightly pained expression on his face. She combed her fingers through his hair, stroking it ever so gently. He did not awaken. Gripping the knife in both hands with an underhand grip, she raised her arms high above. Her target was simple, his heart. With a single thrust, just like the doctor before you, I'll put you to rest. Overwrought with feelings of pure rapture, with every single ounce of strength she had, she swung down the knife. All right, good game. I sprang up, only to find myself on the bed like before. My heart was pounding like crazy. I checked my chest. There was no wound there, anywhere. Nor was there any blood. I was unharmed. I examined my surroundings. The curtain was closed, and it definitely hadn't been slashed open with a kitchen knife. I carefully placed my hand on the curtain, and when I opened it, the doctor and Hazuki collapsed on the floor. I saw the doctor... Wait, what? I carefully placed my hand on the curtain, and when I opened it, I saw the doctor and Hazuki collapse on the floor covered in blood. When that delusion appeared in my mind, I began to tremble all over. Oh, I was very confused for a second. I thought he just opened the curtains now and they were dead. I thought that's what he was just saying. I couldn't work up the courage to open the curtain. What if there was a sea of blood right past it? What if the demon girl was standing there holding a knife? The terror of those thoughts completely incapacitated me. Then, right at that moment... Jesus, lady, don't scare the shit out of me like that. The curtain was open from the outside. I couldn't help but scream and tumbled off the bed.
大丈夫ですか?
I timidly looked up at her. Hazuki-san was looking down at me with wide eyes. Her white coat had no trace of blood, and her face didn't have any stab wounds either.
ごめんなさい。驚かせてしまって。起きているとは思わなかったので。
いえ。
God, I was pathetic. With my head still hanging down, I sluggishly rose to my feet. My heart was beating out of my chest, and it just wouldn't stop. But thank God it had just been a dream. It was like watching a horror movie.
本当に大丈夫？
Hazuki peered at my face, her worry evident. I felt beyond embarrassed, so I couldn't look up at her. Just nodding was the best I could do.
少しうなされていたみたいでしたけど。
怖い夢を見て。
そう。
What time was it? How long had I slept for? I asked Hazuki that very question. Surprisingly enough, I'd slept for a full 3 hours. I guess I'd been more exhausted than I realized.
でも、無遊病の症状は結局出ませんでしたよ。
Alright, well that solves one problem. Well, not really. Because like the doc said, we could just not be meeting the conditions for it. But, at the very least, we don't do it anytime we sleep.
まあ、今日はたまたま症状が出なかっただけかもしれないから、無遊病でないっていう断定はできないですけど。
No, I really don't think I'm a sleepwalker, so... More importantly, I had to ask the doctor that really important question. But I couldn't see him anywhere. As I looked around, Hazuki-san handed me a blank form. Not really focusing all that hard, I took it from her and ran my eyes over it. It was a fill-in-the-blank style form.
それはあなたの心理状態を把握するためのチェックシートです。心理テストのようなものね。
Okay,
それを書
psychological
いてくれ
test.
たら今日はもう帰っていいって先生が。
先生は。
ごめんなさい。ずっと診察が続いてて。来週まで様子を見て、まだ改善が見られないようならもう一度来てくださいって。
Then again, it wasn't like he was my primary physician or anything, I supposed. He'd probably just given Hazuki-san a bunch of directions to get me out of here. Well, guess that means there was pretty much no point in me coming to the hospital today. Damn, that thunder. God damn. I really wanted to ask Dr. Takashina about the someone that wasn't me controlling me, whatever it meant. It was a really chilling symptom, so I didn't want to leave without getting an answer. That being said, I didn't have the courage to demand Hazuki-san bring him back to see me, especially when she already looked so apologetic. Reluctantly, I decided to give the test a try. Guess I'd write about my symptoms on the back of the sheet or something. If I did that, I should be able to get another examination scheduled for next week.
チェックシートは質問に対してイエスかノーかだけを答える簡単なものですから。
Well, shit. Can't do that then.
当てはまる点があったら
Unless one of the
イ
question
エ
is,
スにチェックしてくださいね。
do you think someone else is controlling you? Or some shit like that. If the question is applicable to you, please mark the box labeled yes.
今後の西條さんの治療に対する参考にしますから、じっくり考えて答えてください。
Hazuki-san went out of her way to explain the procedure thoroughly. The test had some strange questions mixed in, ones you wouldn't normally expect to run into at a hospital. It really did seem like some sort of psychological test. Would they really be able to actually learn something from questions like these? Hazuki-san stared at me intently. She showed no signs of leaving. Fill out the form. Get the fuck out. But it wasn't like she had nothing else to do or anything. It was more like she was watching over me or something. My nervousness at being watched made it hard for me to think clearly, but I guess she was just doing her job. Either way, I knew I ought to fill out the test quickly. Oh my god, I'm actually filling out a form. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. Alright, let's go, boys. Okay, problem number 001. Medical record diagnosis. Okay. Alright, let's answer this. So, when you have business to take care of, you prefer to use emails over phone calls. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna say yes. Your ears ring every now and then. Sometimes true. I think it's just because I wear headphones all day. You have felt someone's gaze and turned around before. Sure. You have seen objects that are supposedly stationary move for an instant. No? I don't think I have. No. You have experienced a premonition. No. I'm gonna say no. Have I? No. I'm gonna say no. While looking at a digital clock and passing, you've seen the same numbers appear in sequence. Yeah, sure. You have already cried. Wait, what does that question mean? Wait, what's that question about? Wait. Wait. What is that? You already cried once this month. What is this? Have I? I don't think I have. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm fine. You can masturbate using only your imagination. What? Doctor, what are you trying to ask about? True, though. When masturbating, you can visualize uninterrupted imagery. It's true. It's true. You can daydream without closing your eyes. Yes. The frontal view of a car sometimes looks like a face. Absolutely. You have a hard time going to the bathroom after watching a horror movie. Yes, I do, actually, unironically. You cannot handle haunted houses. I think I can handle them if there's somebody else with me. If I'm alone, maybe not as much. So I'm going to say no, because I need another person there. When you start reading a book, you become so immersed in it that you lose track of time. No, not really. You believe that other planets inhabited by human-like creatures exist. Sure. I personally attributed to your astrological sign match... What? The personality attributed to your astrological sign matches your personality perfectly. No, fuck all that bullshit. You are prone to motion sickness. No. You believe there is a god. No. You have a strong ability to sense the supernatural. No. You have dreamed in color before. Yes. You have been in a dream in which you knew you were dreaming. Yes. You have experienced memory loss. I forget things slowly over time, but I've never had, like, memory loss, so... You have a hard time making eye contact with people. No, not really. I don't think I do. Merely the sight of sour food makes your mouth fill with saliva. No. You feel like yawning when other people do. Abso-fucking-lutely. Alright, what does the results say about me? Am I crazy, Doc? Am I crazy?
はい、お疲れ様でした。
Hazuki-san thanked me as I answered the final question, despite the fact that I hadn't said anything. I felt pretty embarrassed at being watched the whole time. My face was probably bright red. Because of that, I avoided looking at Hazuki-san. When I handed her the test, there had been no time to write my symptoms on the back.
それでは、待合室でお待ちください。お薬が出てますから。
薬
Medication? They were prescribing me something? Dr. Takashina had never said anything about that.
ええ、先生の指示で。
It's a weak
弱い
sedative.
精神安定剤です。ぐっすり眠れるようになるし、副作用などもありませんよ。
Why would you say that? Because you know that's not true. Every medication has some kind of fucking potential side effects. Why would you say this shit? Oh, wow. Thoughtful as ever, Dr. Takashina. And yet, maybe there's no side effects because it's a placebo. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe he's giving me sugar pills. Maybe... Wow, thoughtful as ever, Dr. Takashina. And yet, when I realized I would have to wait in the lobby again, my mood was immediately sent spiraling. That's true. Fuck that shit. Can't you send it to the CVS? I'll go pick it up there. Bro, what is going on these signs behind me? Value of death. Life is suffering caused by desire. To end the suffering, we must end desire. The contagious madness, the unchanging me. Power Lines. Is that the name of the band? Power Lines? Bro, Hideaki Anno would love this band. Holy shit. By the time I'd gotten back to Shibuya, it was already evening. The hospital was technically in Shibuya Ward. But since Yoyogi was the closest station to it, commuting via train was the fastest. But the Yamanote line had been as crowded as ever, and despite only being 2 stops long, the trip back still made me incredibly tired. Riding the train any farther would have been a pain in the ass, so I decided to get off at Shibuya Station and make my way back to base from there. Even then, there were still tons of people outside the station. I despised crowds. They made my head spin. Not wanting to stay much longer, I tried to speed walk out of the Scramble Crossing. Yo, 428 Shibuya Scramble reference? But even walking straight was nigh impossible. Stumbling even slightly caused people from both behind and in front to bump into me. What's more, a bunch of people handing out pocket tissue packs blocked the way, practically forcing everyone who passed by to take them. Fed up with everything, I ignored the first person handing them out, but took some off the second because at least she was a cute grill. Come on. Takumi, you gonna describe them all as grills? Also, what's this dude's, on the left side, this dude's problem? Is he dying? He looks miserable. I was so sick and tired of these people handing out tissue packs and shit to push their products. Didn't they ever have anything better to do than stand right in the middle of the road? Well, whatever, it was free, so might as well take it. Inside the tissue pack I took was a red flyer, and there was a paragraph's worth of shit written on top of it with white ink. Talk about ostentatious. Like, holy shit. You couldn't exactly miss something with that color scheme. What was it? It was a red flyer with a lot of shit. Okay. As I walked along, I gave it a quick skim. What the fuck? Hold on, wait. Type B blood is in short supply. Currently, Shibuya Ward is suffering from a severely short supply of Type B blood. This has only continued to worsen, and we've been struggling to secure the proper quantities of blood for those in need of transfusions. In the worst case scenario, this may lead to the deaths of many. Oh, wow. Without your cooperation, lives may be lost. Please consider becoming a blood donor and visit the donation blah 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 at Shibuya Station of the Inokashira line. It was a blood donation flyer. As I read it, I thought back to the form I'd filled out at the hospital. I didn't have any memory of filling out something like that 4 years ago. Maybe the way they examined patients had changed recently. They're asking some weird shit. Even then, though, something felt oddly familiar about the test. Deja vu. I've been getting hit by all the time recently. Having my mind and body not function the way I wanted them to, the sense of dissonance was an incredibly uncomfortable feeling. So in order to ascertain the future cause behind the deja vu, I tried flipping back through the pages of my memory. I thought back to when Mom had taken me to the hospital about once a week. I kept my mouth shut at all times and only expressed myself via nodding or shaking my head. At first, I'd been taken to a perfectly normal or ordinary examination room, but since I showed no signs of improvement, I started going to a different room before long. The room had essentially been a counseling room, which meant to put the patient's relaxation first and foremost. In other words, there were sofas and plushies and whatnot located all throughout the room. Dr. Takashina had taken a very patient approach to treating me, all while refusing to blame my situation on anyone. He alone caught on to how I was merely choosing not to speak rather than having the inability to do so. Meanwhile, my mom would always talk to me in an unnaturally cheery tone. Every time I got to the hospital, the doctor would always welcome me with a refreshing smile. The nurses also treated me with all the love and care they could, and I had a feeling that there had always been one more person in the room. What the fuck? Who? The FBI agent? Why is there an FBI agent in the back? Who the fuck is that guy? Right. There had been a man in a black suit, one that felt fairly out of place in the hospital. As I've been doing my best not to speak, I never asked him about it. Or I never asked about him. I didn't know who the hell he was the entire time he was there. He didn't feel like a doctor, and he always stood all alone a fair distance away from everyone else, all while gazing out the window. I had dubbed him Mr. Nozomi in my head, though that wasn't his actual name or anything.
Nozomi.
Wait a minute. Didn't I see Nozomi before? Wait a minute. I thought I'd seen the name Nozomi before in something. Was it in the medical form that we filled out? Where did I see Nozomi before? I've seen Nozomi in something. Was it this? No. I know I'd seen the name Nozomi somewhere. either a UI thing or from the medical form thing. I'd seen the name Nozomi before somewhere. Okay. The man in the suit always had a badge on his chest, no matter the situation. And that badge was the word Nozomi. And it looked like a logo to me, though. So it probably wasn't a name tag. Oh, I knew why it was bothering me. The tests from before also... Okay, so I'm not crazy. You're crazy. I'm not crazy. I remembered. I had a hunch that I'd seen it somewhere before, and now I finally remembered exactly where. It was like a huge weight had been lifting off my chest. That aside, what was Nozomi anyway? I was pretty sure it was the name of a business.
のぞみさんっていう美人女社長が設立したカウンターテロ組織とか漫画みたい
Founded by a gorgeous female CEO named Miss Nozomi? Just like a manga. Bro, can you stop with the cringe theories for like 5 fucking seconds? My eyes are like killing me right now. But we press on. I didn't mean to hit the spacebar to continue, but I accidentally did. We continue. Okay, what do we got next? Go to Deloodle. Let's go. When I'd arrived at my base, I'd gone straight to look up Nozomi online. However, there were so many results that I couldn't manage to pin down anything specific. Well, let's go with a more normal theory first. That Nozomi guy could have been from the company that made the test, and he was just at the hospital in order to sell them or something. The hospital had then adopted the test recently, and they decided to have me fill one out today. Nah, I doubted that. I never heard of some rando attending a patient's examination like that. So, who the hell was that Mr. Nozomi guy? Memories kept pulling at my mind, but I was fed up with it at that point. Fuck it, let's go play ESO, boys. Either way, the reason behind my deja vu was now clear. I decided that I'd ask Dr. Takashina about my memory issues next week, but until then I was going to stay cooped up in my room without bothering with school. There was no way in hell I'd go to school where people were trying to hurt me. In all honesty, I really don't want to screw up the minimum attendance chart, so I'd carefully... I really don't want to screw up... what? In all honesty, I really don't want to screw up the minimum attendance chart I'd so carefully constructed, but it wasn't worth getting myself killed over. One day I'll be able to learn to read, guys. I swear to you, if I just calm down. Calm down. Okay. I can read, I swear. I can read. I could do it, boys. I could do anything. It is annoying with the light, though. The light makes it annoying, but if I turn it off, then it's like this. I don't know if I like that. The light does make it slightly annoying, though. But we move. I gave up on my Nozomi search and went to look for any interesting-looking threads on @channel. Alright, let's see if we're going to notice any Steins Gate references here. Or, I guess, Steins Gate prequel thing. Because this came out before Steins Gate, but... Okay. Morning Anons, New Gen News Bearer. And that's a bear emoji. New Gen number 1, Group Dive. New Gen number 2 equals Manchild. New Gen number 3, Crucifixion. New Gen question mark. To be continued, Shutters. The news board was almost completely filled with New Gen threads. Even the ESO board had threads like, let's try and replicate New Gen crimes in ESO, and to be honest, I was beyond sick and tired of the whole thing. Back to my gaming. Diving back into ESO, I found Grim. The @channel news bar is super fucking boring recently. They really won't shut the fuck up about New Gen. Well, it is the biggest thing of note recently. Whenever a new incident like this happens, people always freak the fuck out about it. Shitstorm incarnate, lol. Oh yeah, also diagnostic results. Oh wait! We got a result. Wait, hold on. Shitstorm, net slang. A state of furious, chaotic excitement or activity on an @channel thread. Alright, let's check our results here. You are moderately delusional, which is the most common diagnosis. No, I'm not. No, you can't. What? I am not moderate. What? You live a relatively comfortable life in the real world, and you are likely able to spend around the same amount of time hanging out with friends as you do enjoying TV, video games, and other media by yourself. Human beings are creatures that require delusions in moderation, for such a thing is the reason why our minds are so enriched. In your case, I'm sure you can enjoy your delusions while still making the best of your real life. Going forward, it will be important to maintain a good balance between real life and delusions. If you allow your delusions to run too wild, you may find yourself in danger of becoming a freak in no time. God damn. A word from Ayase. I suggest you sing. Let song flow from your lips. Singing is an act that exists in reality. However, pouring your thoughts into song is an act born from delusion. Singing allows these two sides to coexist, and you can share such a beautiful coalescence with many. This is why you should sing. A word from Yua. I by no means think it's weird to enjoy anime, but please don't let anime be the only thing you talk about in daily conversation. Yua, you can't call me out like that. And what does that have to do with my diagnosis? Yua. Yua. All right, boys. We're moderately delusional. We're moderately delusional. That's. Oh, we're talking about video games enough, right? It's the same. It means the same fucking thing. All you're talking about is fucking media. Okay? Anyways. Whenever a new incident like this happens, people always freak the fuck out. They still haven't caught the culprit? I mean, you and I both know the police are incompetent, lol. There's tons of idiots all over the web painting the culprit as some moe hot chick, lol. That's, yeah, that demon girl. The desolate eyes of the girl I'd seen at the crucifixion murder scene flashed through my mind, and I felt a shiver run down my spine. As much as I didn't want to remember, that ghastly memory would come back any time I let my guard down. Wait, I'd seen the culprit's face. I knew who they were. Should I report it to the police? Yes, you should have done that already, but I didn't want to get involved. Demon girl? Is there already an offshoot of the perp like that? That might be taking it a bit too far, TBH. Anyway, these new gen cases are seriously interesting, dude. I joined the Free Para new gen community. You're getting way too into this. Everyone but you and Sisen from our guild has joined. Oh god, was he serious? Now I wouldn't be able to hop on and chat with my guild anymore. Because it would be fucking annoying. New gen is some weird shit, man. It gives me the chills. I knew you were into gory stuff, Grim, but don't tell me you're the type that looks for artistic merit in murder cases. True, the crucifixion corpse would have easily been mistaken for modern art, so it'd be fair to say that it was artistic in some sense. Nah, the only thing you should be seeking here is how... What? Is how lewd it is? The only thing you should be seeking here is how lewd it is. It is the ultimate form of BDSM. Being murdered by crucifixion? I guess, technically it would. This guy's hopeless. I better do something quick. You'll get it once you leave behind your virginhood, Neidhard Tan. You lowly bastard. Are you saying you're not a virgin? Oh, he gave us the emote. We're giving the shocked face back. You damn traitor! Back on topic, though. Wait, did they explain ORZ? An ideograph depicting a person on all fours, depressed. O is the head, R is the arms and torso, and Z is the legs. Typically used to express despair, dejection, or frustration. There's no set way to pronounce it, and as such, people may pronounce it as orts, ors, or ors. I really didn't want to look. I was scared to. The site pulling The site pulling all the info together is filled to the brim, so you really ought to take a look. I wanted to escape the reality in which I'd witnessed the scene of the crime. That's why I had been intently avoiding all info related to New Gen ever since then. I wanted to fool myself into believing that the gruesome scene I'd seen had been just a delusion, but I was basically a god in ESO, not just someone strong, but someone who knew all. Not to mention I was the guild leader. It'd be beyond embarrassing if the organizers of the group couldn't keep up with the... I just saw lightning very brightly, which means thunder's about to be very loud. I think it's a sign. Not to mention I was the guild leader. It'd be beyond embarrassing if the organizer of the group couldn't keep up with the latest topics. I had to make sure that didn't happen. So I banned them all. And I started a new guild. Got some new members. I clicked the link to the site Grimm had sent me. The top of the site had the title All Things New Gen written in big letters right in the center of the page. This type of website was basically like a wiki. It was open to the public, and anyone could enter info related to a particular topic. Wiki, an online system for the creation and compilation of hypertext documents on a web server. In the case of the New Gen site, loads of people entered info concerning New Gen, and the site updated as they did. Sites like it tended to suffer from unreliable info being mixed in, as well as its fair share of vandalism from trolls. But they could still be pretty useful for getting a quick overview of an incident. Many links were pasted all over the internet, or all over the page. That's not what that had said, but my brain just didn't look at the last word. I read the beginning bits and just corrected what I assumed it had said. And that was not correct. I'm trying to figure out why my brain keeps doing that shit so I can not do that shit. I'm just saying words that aren't even there. Why would I do this? Alright, I promptly clicked on the link that read current timeline. My heart raced. Just reading the site was making me nervous. My palms were slick with sweat. His palms are sweaty. Knees weak. Arms are heavy. Vomit on a sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. Nervous. Okay, I want the general news. Alright, headlines. The earthquake of 2 months ago. Brutal, bizarre serial murders. 3 in total. Corpse affixed to a concrete wall. Witness claimed they heard nails hammered around crime scene. Are the crimes all being committed by different people? Cruxification, man-child, group dive. Victim was a 56-year-old university professor. The earthquake of 2 months ago. 1. Name. The following post will be presented by Anonymous. 2 months ago, an earthquake with a seismic intensity of 3 occurred, with Shibuya as its epicenter, and yet there were 8 fatalities. Bookmarks. We have templates ume. Kokokodayo. Everyday Buddy Buddy. These are like news sites. Ikonkitun Konkon. Bye-bye.net not. News Swen. Memo mo ume. Good come. Hiki Niki. Futanari Daisuki. What? What? Why is your site named that? Wait, what? Trick to Watori. Homo Station. Happy Pride, everybody. Nyokin Moon. Pantu Pari. And I think that's like the symbol for Okoku, and I think that's king. The numbers at the top right are 01578347. Okay. The first incident, dubbed the group dive, was the suicide of 5 high schoolers that had jumped to their deaths. It happened in the dead of night on September 7th, which was about a month ago at this point. The building they jumped off of was Cornelius Tower, which was located in Shibuya. They dove off the rooftop helipad. Of course, all 5 had died instantly. According to the autopsies, the 5 all had foreign pieces of flesh under their fingernails, along with various scratch marks on their hands. Based on that, it was surmised that the five had been holding hands as they jumped, for one reason or another. There was no suicide note of any form on the rooftop. A person online, one of those people acting like Snake, had actually gone to Cornelius Tower themselves and reported that the door to the roof had a sign on it saying no entry to unauthorized personnel, and that it was locked practically 24/7. Snake, the name of the protagonist of a certain video game, who is a professional in covert operations. It is often referenced on the internet when an ordinary person is conducting anonymous or secret investigations. For example, during an operation, one of these individuals might say, "This is Snake. I've infiltrated the base." Building. Whatever. Naturally, the door had been locked at the time of the incident, and the key was not found among the belongings of the deceased. Essentially, the rooftop helipad had effectively been a locked room, and the method the five had used to enter was completely unknown. There was a very high chance that someone other than the five had been present at the scene of the incident. The second incident, dubbed the man-child murder case, had occurred 12 days after the first incident, placing it on September 19th. Early in the morning, a university student on their way home from a karaoke session had discovered a collapsed man covered in blood by the Shibuya Station underpass. The victim had been a university student residing in Shibuya Ward, a 21-year-old named Konoe Chizuo. He was already dead when he was discovered, but his abdomen had an unnatural, very large swelling. According to the autopsy, someone had performed an abdominal incision on the man, stuffed a newly born fetus inside the man's stomach, then stitched it back up. Jesus fucking Christ! Moreover, a DNA test confirmed that the fetus had no blood relation to the victim. The victim was a bachelor and had no relations with any women. At all? Wow. Sucks to be him. It was only online speculation, but it was assumed that the 32-week-old fetus had been removed from its mother's body via C-section. However, the mother's identity, current whereabouts, and even whether or not she was alive was completely unknown. It was possible that the police had already discovered her whereabouts, but if they had, nothing had been publicly revealed. I averted my eyes from the monitor to keep myself from throwing up. Oh, my eyes, goddamn. Jesus Christ. Talking was nauseating. The culprit was already insane, and maybe, just maybe, these ghastly murders have been carried out by that girl. Japan is over! Yay! Japan is over! I stared at Seiroten in an attempt to bleach my eyes. And with that, I somehow managed to stabilize my mental state. I considered taking the meds the doctor had given me, but Seiroten did the job nonetheless. Do we have any new files on the desktop here? I think they're all the same as before. Anyway, while that might have been necessary to maintain Neidhart's honor, reading all that gory stuff really fucking sucked. Delusion time? I didn't choose anything.
そんなに辛いならさ、読まなくていいって。
Oh, true. That's so true, Seiroten. Fuck, you're so right.
タッキーがド M ってんなら別に止めないけど。辛そうなタッキーは見てられないさ。もうやめよう。楽しいことだけしてようよ。
How could you not? How, like, I don't need meds. We have Seiroten. That's all. She's talking to us, right? She's real. She's real. We don't need to take our meds. She's speaking the truth.
私にハーハーしてもいいからさ。
So true. So true. Oh, how wonderful and caring you are, Seiroten. Seiroten was the only one who would stay by my side. I couldn't ask for a better waifu. I rested my chin on my hands above the table, watching Seiroten smile as I took deep breaths. My soul had been healed. I might be able to get through a little more if I kept glancing at her as I read, and so I decided to put that into practice right away. Come to think of it, why had those two unrelated cases been slapped with the new gen label? Apparently the group dive had initially been treated as a group suicide. But after the man-child incident had occurred, people online reinvestigated it and discovered the unnatural circumstances surrounding the scene of the crime. Rumors then began to appear, saying that the five may have actually been killed and that the suicide label was merely a cover-up. According to the parents and good friends of the five victims, there was no way it could have been a suicide. Then the mass media had started making connections between the two incidents, starting with where they occurred, Shibuya. Madness explodes in today's youth, the new generation madness. Sensationalist headlines like that had started popping up everywhere, to my understanding anyway. Then came the third case, the murder case I had witnessed, dubbed the Crucifixion. The Crucifixion. The site didn't have much info on this case, likely due to having only occurred recently. The victim, 56-year-old Ota Hisashi, was a university professor who had been crucified with stakes to the concrete wall of a vacant house. That was all that had been publicly revealed. Many of the neighboring residents had claimed that over an hour after the time the crime was thought to have occurred, around 8 p.m., they could hear the sounds of nails being hammered into something. Even I'd heard the sound. I could hear it even now. A horrible, terrifying sound. On a related note, no connection between the third case and the group dive or the man-child had been discovered yet. But with it being the third abnormal incident that happened in quick succession in Shibuya, the crucifixion was naturally treated as another new-gen incident. The police and mass media believe that all the crimes had different culprits. Oh, hold on. The police and mass media believe that all the crimes had different culprits, but the predominated opinion online, or rather, what was most of the net hoped was going on, was that the crimes either shared a single culprit or an organized group of culprits. Shibuya Scramble. There were also many occult-based theories whispered about online, such as that everything had begun with the earthquake from 2 months ago. 2 months ago, an earthquake with a seismic intensity of 3 occurred, with Shibuya at its epicenter. Although the scale was fairly minor, there was still 8 fatalities, which became a popular topic of discussion. Come to think of it, it was true that the New Gen cases had begun after that earthquake. Because of that, the New Gen occultists argued that the 8 deaths in the earthquake should be counted as the first New Gen incident, causing a dispute between them and the New Gen mainstreamers. Wait. Oh, okay, alright. Regardless, the entire situation was abnormal. After all, despite the fact that 3 brutal cases had occurred in quick succession, no clues on any of their culprits had been found. And many online were waiting eagerly for a 4th case. It's me. I'm going to be the 4th case. I can already fucking tell. If I wasn't directly connected to it all, I probably would have joined in on the chaos myself, posted in a few threads, made a few theories. I could have been waiting excitedly for the 4th incident at this very moment. Damn it. All these assholes were just having the time of their lives, weren't they?
犯人を早く捕まえてくれよ。
A week had passed since the crucifixion, but neither the demon girl nor the police made any moves. If they knew I'd been at the scene of the crime, they would definitely come and question me about it. But there hadn't been any signs of that actually happening. Thank God. It looked like I wasn't going to get dragged into this after all.
あなたには予知能力がありますか?
That claim you had thrust at me flashed into my mind.
予知能力があるって思わなきゃ納得できないような画像データをあなたが持っていたから。
Even though I'd finally started to relax, that feeling of despair came flying right back in an instant. The image sent by Shogun, the data was still on my PC. Yui claims that Yua's claims were no more than delusions she dreamt up. Her deductions were a total stretch, not to mention logically bankrupt. While I might have ended up not asking about it in the hospital today, the idea of me doing things without remembering them was completely absurd, utterly impossible. I mean, nothing like that ever happened to me before. So the gory image was obviously faked.
だったらさ、
Seiratan?
合成だって証拠を見つけちゃえばいいさ。
Find proof, you say?
あの画像解析しちゃおうよ。
Give the picture a look-see, but Seiratan is disgusting. But it's so disgusting. I really don't want to look at it any more than I already have.
あの女を論破しちゃえば、タッキーはもう怯えることなく平穏な生活に戻れるんだよ。
If you destroy that fucking bitch bimbo's argument, Taki, you'll be able to get back to your peaceful life. That stupid bitch. Destroy her. Destroy her, Taki. And if you do that, there'll be nothing more to fear.
やるしかないっしょ。
You know what you gotta do. Of course, she was exactly right, as always. Look at that smile. How could you argue with her? You had talked to me as if I were the culprit behind the crux of fiction. But that wasn't true at all. That wasn't true. I mean, I'd seen the culprit's face. As if I'd let you put the blame on me after that. So with a gulp, I double-clicked on the folder where the images were cached. It was the first time in 3 days that Ban Yasuji had set foot in the Shibuya police station conference room. Oh shit, it's the police. We're gonna find out about L. The investigation meeting for the Maruyamacho crucifixion homicide case had already begun, and Ban was greeted with universal gazes of displeasure for his tardiness. Ban forced a polite smile before bending down to sit. He supposed that it was not quite the right time to reveal that he had been cooped up in the bathroom with diarrhea. Jesus Christ. The Maruyamacho crucifixion homicide case had been assigned to the Shibuya police station on the morning after the incident. As they were lacking in manpower due to the Cornelius Tower mass suicide case and the Shibuya station undergrad and fetus homicide case, who the fuck is naming those ones here at the station? Even the third-rate assistant inspector, Ban, whom the Metropolitan Police Department's investigation division were practically begging to retire, had been called in by the main office. Moreover, as all the incidents had occurred within the Shibuya police station's jurisdiction, it was an unusual situation in which a single jurisdictional station was utilizing 3 special investigation teams. Because of this, operations were made quite difficult, with the 3 investigation teams having access to only one large conference room that they had to alternate between. The mass media was hailing it as one large case known as New Gen, and there were rumors that the police would combine the 3 investigation teams in order to make a New Gen investigation division, thus solving the issue of manpower. All the detectives found this prospect completely asinine, regarding it as nothing more than an absolute joke.
警部補、君の報告を。
Ban's superior, Inspector Matsunaga, who was in charge of the investigation team, called out to Ban with a piercing gaze. But Ban did not notice this. He simply continued to cool himself down with a handheld fan as he took a moment to recuperate.
警部補、バン警部補、聞いているのか？
Not really. Not really, actually.
呼ばれてるっすよ。
Who's this guy?
報告待ちなんすから。
This guy showed up for like 2 seconds behind Yua that one time, right? The boss is calling you, Ban-san. The whispers of Ban's partner, a rookie named Suwa, finally got him to realize he was being called. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Alright, sorry about that. We'll give him his report.
自分っすか？
俺がいなくても報告しとけって言っといたろうが。早くしろ。
Them's the breaks. Hurry up, get to it. Suwa sighed as his superior jabbed him in the elbow and then stood up straight and tall.
犯行現場近くの監視カメラの解析がようやく出たっす。
Okay.
出ました。犯行時間に不審な人物が映ってました。
A suspicious individual. Wait, that was me. Wait, that was probably me. Wait, oh fuck. Murmurs echoed throughout the conference room. The relaxed atmosphere from before had been turned on its head. The other detectives began to take frantic notes in order to not miss a single word of Sua's report. Considering the situation, it was no surprise they were so frantic about it. After all, 3 horrific cases had occurred within their jurisdiction in the span of a single month, only one of which was not ruled as a homicide as of yet. Their strong determination to find the culprit, even in the face of their reputations, was only natural.
プロジェクターに映像を出します。
Oh no, was I caught in 4K? Oh no. As per the instructions Bond had given him in advance, Sua had the projector display the footage on the projector screen. The projector showed an image of the confined, filthy back alley of Murayamacho. It was night, and there were very few streetlights present, so virtually nothing was visible.
犯行現場から約50メートル離れたところにあるコインパーキングの監視カメラです。
The parking lot was only big enough to fit 2 vehicles. It was a tiny plot of land interposed between 2 buildings, and it was constructed without any real care as well. The scene of the crime was not visible in the footage. Not even the path leading to it could be seen. All it displayed was the road that was one farther. What? All it displayed was a road that was one farther away from the crime scene. The video had no sound. The time the video had been recorded was graciously displayed in the top right hand corner on the screen, 9:34 p.m.
犯行現場近隣の住民の証言により、21時過ぎから21時半頃まで釘を打ちつける音がしていたというのはご承知の通りだと思いますが、この映像は21時34分。つまりまさに犯行時間直後ということになります。
Oh fuck, we're about to be framed. It's over.
映っているのは21時34分53秒からおよそ6秒間です。
Oh
駐車場の
no.
前の道を奥から手前へと走り抜けてい
Oh
ます。
no. That's us. No, it's over, boys. Oh no. Immediately following Sua's explanation, a silhouette appeared on the footage. They seemed to be in a great hurry and ran from the back of the screen to the front. As the resolution was quite poor, not even their gender could be ascertained at the glance. I could see the blue hair. It's fucked. It's all fucked. But Bond had already gotten the crime lab to analyze that very point.
科捜研で解析した結果、映っている人物は男。年齢は10代後半から20代とのことっす。
Yeah.
です。
Yeah,
人
that
相
might
の
be
判
me.
別までは無理でした。服装がかなり特徴的ですが、これは小島にある私立水明学園の男子制服と分か
That's
りま
my
した。
school. Ah, shit.
それと右手に注目してもらいたいんですが、
No, we don't. You don't have to do that. The image enlarged on the right hand of the image enlarged on the right hand of the suspicious individual. It appeared to be grasped. No, you don't understand. No, no, you don't understand. Oh no, we're fucked. We're so fucked. Oh
スローで
shit.
再生するとわかるが、
Oh fuck.
走りながら腕を振っている際、この握りしめている何かが駐車場の照明に反射して光を放ってるんだ。
I picked it up because I was curious. I was confused at what it was. I didn't know it was a murder weapon. Now, at the good part. Bond took over Sua's explanation.
形状からして犯行に使われた十字架型の杭である可能性がある。
The detectives continued to murmur noisily. The crucifixion culprit might be a high schooler. The proposition was fairly shocking to them. And after all, it meant that the new Generation Madness moniker that the mass media had been pushing could actually become a reality.
最も犯人に近い人物がこの少年だということか。
Ah, shit.
そういうことになりますね。
Bond stroked the stubble on his jaw. It was a habit of his. Whenever he took one step closer to cornering a culprit, he would always reach for that satisfying scraping session.
以上です。
Suwa took a deep breath and sat down.
ひどいっすよ先輩。美味しいところ持ってって。
What can I say? Ignoring Sua's grumbling, Bon once again burned the image of the high school boy into his mind.
ようやく尻尾を出したんだ。そいつを掴んで離さねえ
You
よ
don't understand, Bon. I didn't do it. I don't think. Well, actually, you know, maybe I did it. I couldn't tell you honestly, but I'm pretty sure I didn't do it. Well, we have a folder called trolling on the. I didn't realize that we have a trolling folder. All right, we're looking in the internet cache. Sure enough, the image Shogun had sent me was in my cache folder. 168491.jpg was its name. Obviously, a part of me was still hesitant to even look at it. I mean, it was a pretty fucking nasty image, grotesque as all hell, too. I was sure just looking at it would throw me right back to the scene of the crucifixion, where that violent scene had taken place right in front of me. But even then, I needed to expose Yua's flawed logic, and therefore guarantee my own safety and innocence. Thankfully, since Saratan was there for me, I could handle a little bit of gore. Mustering all the courage I had, I double-clicked the file. There it is. It's all fucked up and gooey. God, it was so gory. But compared to the crucifixion scene I'd seen in person, it wasn't quite as bad. Telling myself that the image had to be fake, I was just barely able to stomach it. When I had first received the image, I had closed it immediately after looking at it once. I hadn't inspected it thoroughly. This time, holding back the urge to vomit, I decided to examine the image in excruciating detail. I didn't know much about how to tell whether a picture was fake or not, but taking a look at the shadows, seeing if there was anything off about the surrounding area, and other stuff like that should probably be enough. The only possibility I had in mind was that the photo had been taken in advance, and the crucifixion corpse had been put on top of it using CGI. And then the day after, Shogun had sent the picture to me, they'd executed the crime exactly as they'd edited in the image. Thanks to the poor resolution how dark the image was, I could only really see the stakes, leaving the identity of the victim unclear. Light was only hitting the area surrounding the corpse, yet something about the image was just begging for me to look at the crucifixion itself. I felt like that was the intent of the person who'd made it. I mean, come on. Focusing that much light around the corpse was kind of overkill. Don't you think? Trying to see if there's something on, like, the left side of it. So I think I see some smudge thing. Like on the left side. I mean, come on, focusing in that much light. Well, it wasn't like I'd been paying close attention to the actual crime scene, so I couldn't really jump to conclusions. In the picture, the demon girl wasn't standing in front of the crucified corpse. But when I opened my eyes wide and looked even closer, I noticed a silhouette in a dark spot, the far left side. Was I right? Is that a person? Or is he talking about a different area? I almost completely missed it. Due to the low res of the image, the shadow the figure stood in blended perfectly into the surrounding scenery. You could easily miss it if you weren't paying close attention. Obviously, the image was fake, but what if the person who taken the photo had accidentally left themselves in it? If they had, it was possible that they'd forgotten to edit themselves out when they tampered with the image. It looked like they were wearing a sane uniform. What? You cannot tell that from here. What are you talking about? What? It looked like they were wearing a sane uniform. In that case, it had to be the demon girl. She had been wearing one at the time of the crime, after all. But when I took a closer look, I noticed that the figure's hair was actually pretty short. The demon girl had long hair, like Yua. Oh, it's gonna be us. Alright then, time for some computer magic. I need the details here. We gotta enhance. I opened up some image processing software and dragged the image in. Then, with a big gulp, I selected the levels option in the adjustments menu and brightened the once darkened corners of the image. Yep. That's me. Caught in 4K twice in a row. Holy fuck. What the hell? What? What? Nani?
なんだこれ。
Pictured on the screen. Pictured on the screen was unmistakably.
僕だ。
How is it me? It didn't make any sense. I never even been there before September 29th. It was fake. It had to be fake. I couldn't find any bit of proof that it was, but it absolutely had to be. Nothing made sense in it otherwise. I mean, Shogun had sent the image on the 28th, and the crucifixion murder case had occurred on the 29th. If the image of what happened on the 29th, if the image was of what happened on the 29th, then that would mean it was a picture taken from the future.
あなたには予知能力がありますか？
Ooh, I was caught in 4K in the future. There's no way. I have powers. I kicked the plastic bottle at my feet and closed the paint program. I checked the files properly to see when it was made, and then I lost all words. The timestamp was the 28th, but that was the least of my worries now. In the comment section of the properties menu was a single inconspicuous sentence. A sentence my eyes couldn't look away from. I could probably already guess what that sentence is. Whose eyes are those eyes? Yep. There it is. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck, boys. It's over. I slammed my hands on the keyboard before shoving it to the edge of my desk. I clutched my head.
セーラ助けて。
Please, Saratan, speak to us. I could barely hold back my tears. What the hell had I done to deserve a whole week of nothing but more and more insane bullshit? Why was I the only one that had to deal with this shit? Hang on a second. If they had somehow managed to get a photo of me, and then they'd edited it into the image of the crime scene, that would either mean Shogun had taken a photo of me without my consent, or that he had somehow obtained my photo from another source. And considering how he'd suddenly entered the chat room and started talking to me right after Grimm had left, he had lately been aiming for me, and me alone, from the very start. Shogun might very well have discovered my real identity. If that was true, then Shogun, the demon girl, anyone, could raid my base at any moment, and then I'd be abducted. Oh, I felt a chill on the nape of my neck. It was the gaze again. There was something there, watching me. Wait, don't look at me. Did you really think I'd turn around? I knew the rules of the game better than anyone. It'll take more than that to make me turn around game. Fear sent goosebumps all over my body, and I felt a strong urge to check that the door was locked. But instead of doing that, I just continued to stare at my monitor, as I was way too stubborn to let myself lose. And then he stayed like that forever because he didn't want to lose the game. He never turned around. He never left the shipping container. He slowly died because he didn't want to turn around. That's what happens, right? Unable to calm down, I opened up my default word processor and wrote down everything on my mind. Bananas, Nintendo Switch, white controllers, fucking... Demon girl equals cold-blooded murderer. Has precognitive powers. Shogun equals demon girl's underling. Yua equals Shogun's underling. This has to be it. As I stared fearfully at the word demon, I began to wonder if the girl at the crime scene was actually a real demon. I mean, come on. She couldn't be human by any means. If she was a demon, she might actually be able to see the future. And if she could see the future, projecting a scene from the future onto a picture via psychic photography could be child's play. It would line up perfectly with how she'd somehow managed to carry out the gruesome crucifixion all on her own. She'd then gotten her underling Shogun to send the image to me, a person who she knew would end up accidentally witnessing the crime. I didn't know why she'd done that. Maybe it was a threat. This will be you next if you tell anyone what you saw. Or maybe it was a death sentence. You're next. And if that's really what it meant, then I'm fucked.
奴らにいつ殺されてもおかしくないんだ。
What? What? Where are we? Kusunoki Yua faced the PC in her room, her profile gravely serious. She swiftly read through the information displayed on the monitor. Before long, Yua let out a small sigh and released her hand from the mouse, glancing at a piece of paper sitting within her reach of her. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. It was the very same paper she had put before Nishijo Takumi. The day before, the printout of the chat log between Neidhart and Shogun.
西条くん。
Yua muttered a single name. The view of Takumi sitting alone on that Shoto Park bench appeared in her mind, before she quickly shook her head to drown it out. Suddenly, she looked behind herself in surprise.
今、誰かに見られていたような。
What is this poster? Angola. What does that poster say? Is that supposed to be like evanescence? Or is that like an ergo proxy thing? What is this? Angela Libra? What is that? And what? Okay. Her gaze stopped upon a large stuffed ghetto froggy enshrined on her bed. Wondering if it had just been her imagination, she tilted her head in puzzlement. Then she slowly rose to her feet, walked over to her bed, and fell onto it head first. The sheets smelled of the sun. It seemed like her mother had kindly dried the futon earlier today. Yua buried her face in that relieving scent, her gaze wandering about vacantly. Her room was very neat and orderly, placing her meticulous personality on full display. This especially applied to her large bookshelf, which was rather incongruous for a room sized at around 13 square meters. It was packed tightly with countless books, leaving hardly any gaps. However, charmingly, the lower half consisted of nothing but complex academic books, computing-related books, and other similar materials, contrasting greatly with the upper half, which was filled with shoujo manga and anime DVDs. Based? With another sigh, Yua turned her body face up and stared at the ceiling.
DID。
Oh, fuck. This is the multiple personality, but like this is the newer term for it, right? Dissociative identity disorder, that's what it is. A condition in which a single person has more than one personality. A personality is defined as a continuous pattern of engaging with one's environment while being aware of the environment and their ego. In other words, a human being's ego presents itself by recognizing the continuous passage of time, confirming that their actions and subsequently received information are consistent, and from there is themselves. Personality change in DID is sudden and can be triggered by psychological stress, social stress, as well as various other emotional factors. The disorder is characterized by many cases in which different personalities do not retain the same memories. The age of onset is in early childhood, but it may not always be clinically apparent. It is easier for the disorder to become chronic should the patient have experienced some form of childhood abuse or psychological trauma. It was first referred to as multiple personality disorder in the DSM-3, Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 3rd edition, published in 1980, by the American Psychiatric Association. And while the name may be commonplace, it has not been used since the DSM-4 in 1994. Oh, what? Wait, what? What is this name for Wikipedia? Wiki pedophilia? What is that? Bro, who decided to name their website that? What? What is that? What is that shit? Wiki pedophilia? This is where people go to get their information in this universe? What? We at Meta Wiki are currently discussing whether or not to implement a Japanese version of the Wiki Party site. If you are interested in contributing, please feel free to join us. See you there. Dissociative identity disorder from Wiki Pedophilia, the encyclopedia of useless knowledge. Oh. This is the troll version of Wikipedia? This is the 4chan version? Is that what that is? Dissociative identity disorder, a condition in which a single person has more than one personality, commonly referred to as DID. A personality is defined as a continuous pattern of a blah, 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 blah. We already read that. We already read all this. Okay, we're good. She remembered the name of the mental illness she had just been researching. An explanation related to it was still displayed on her monitor.
辛いんですね。
Yua hugged the stuffed Gera froggy by her pillow tightly as she thought about Takumi.
でも、私、
However, her expression soon vanished, replaced only by the gritting of her teeth. Let's calm down, bro. It hurt to breathe. All I was doing was looking things up on my PC, yet it hurt to breathe. I could feel my heart pounding harder than it had ever before. And of course, the feeling was something was watching me that would not go away. I was still just barely keeping myself from turning around, but I knew I couldn't do it for much longer. Jesus, calm the fuck down. Get a mirror. I cried out angrily at whatever it was. Surely it wasn't the demon girl, right? Oh god, what if it was? She could be using second sight or clairvoyance or some other demonic power to spy on me. Clairvoyance, a psychic ability that allows a person to see far beyond normal human perception. With this power, what is normally impossible to see with the naked eye due to distance, angle, obstructions, etc. can be perceived. The power can manifest in many ways, such as simply enhancing one's natural vision or seeing distant things in the form of still images. Bro, calm down. Just calm down, relax. The chills on the back of my neck were gradually growing stronger, to the point where they were getting slightly painful, like jolts of electricity coursing through my body. I was covered from head to toe in sweat. The front of my t-shirt was completely soaked. Dude, he is not having a real one. And he lost. You lost the game. You lost the game, buddy. Sorry. Thanks for playing. Unable to take it anymore, I whipped around in my chair as forcefully as I could. And yet, all I saw was my room, in the same condition as always. I didn't see a single thing that shouldn't have been there. I mean, I see many things that probably shouldn't be where they currently are, but... Okay. Damn. You gotta chill, bro. With a yell that was closer to a shriek than anything, I burst up from my chair and went to make sure the door was locked. And much to my relief it was. I wiped away the sweat in my forehead with my sleeve. Returning to my PC, I focused on the monitor once again. It was still displaying what I had been researching earlier, precognition. Oh, of course, he also uses wiki pedophilia, you know, of course. A precognition, noun, to know what is going to happen in advance. Example, to foresee an unusual phenomenon. Also known as foresight or foreknowledge. To know what is going to happen in the future before it actually happens. The term does not refer to predictions. Wait, I think we've already have this term in the thing, right? Yeah, we do. Alright, we already have this. When I was a kid, I truly believed that precognition existed. That psychics existed. If I was being completely honest, I still did to a degree. That was why my first thought had been that the image from Shogun and the Demon Girl was a precognitive photograph. A thought which only drove me to look into it all the more. What if, maybe, just maybe, there were tons of psychics all over the world and I just didn't know? Back when I was a kid, when the bus accident happened, I'd managed something that had been pretty close to precognition For that reason, I couldn't completely rule out its existence. But no matter how much I searched, all I could find was extremely dubious articles about the occult, voodoo shit, or whatever else. There's absolutely nothing that proved scientifically whether or not it existed.
一つぐらいあってもいいだろう。
Growing increasingly frustrated, I violently tapped away at the keyboard. I couldn't deal with how anxious not having a concrete answer made me. Was the world really telling me to give up? To wait here, trembling in fear of demons that might or might not come? Of course, I would have vastly preferred to learn that precognition... Oh, I couldn't stay sane like that. Of course, I would have vastly preferred to learn that precognition didn't exist. But regardless of what the truth was, I needed to know it. Badly. Pretty much out of options, I decided to take a look at Channel's occult board. The place was typically home to nothing but total BS noise, lies and misinformation, mainly, but it actually had some pretty mind-blowing and even useful information scattered on it sometimes. Biting back how frantic I was, I opened up Channel. Then I clicked on the occult board and gave precognition a search. And when I did, Precognition and Prophecies, Phantasm General, New Gen. Shittily predicting the future of Japan, precognition thread. Number of dudes who want Festan, Queen of Precognition to kick their shit in. Based? The Messiah, Precognition Discussion, Phantasm. Precognition, fuck Phantasm, thread number 11, more like superstition. What do you guys think of Phantasm's prophetic songs? More precognition, IMO? Why Phantasm are literal murderers pretending to have precognition, part 5. If you've had precognitive dreams, get your ass in this thread. Trolls, get the fuck out. Logging off to hear Festus Prophecies Precognition IRL, part 3. My stomach... Why did I say... That's not even remotely what it said. My search pulled up a surprising number of threads, about 30 of them. Was precognition a hot topic on Channel at the moment? With a gulp, I checked the thread's title one by one.
Phantasm. FES.
Most of the threads contain those two keywords. In addition, New Gen discussion had also wormed its way in, with lots of unsettling terms like prophetic lyrics and murderer being used. Having never heard of Phantasm... God, can you not... Can you stay here? Right there? Can you do that? Can you do that? Having never heard of Phantasm... There is a fly that just flew in front of me. I don't know where it went, but I just saw it. It's gonna fucking annoy me for the rest of the goddamn stream. Alright, give me 1 second here. Not to deal with the fly, but to check. See if I have any important messages I have to deal with. It looks like I'm fine. It looks like we're okay. It looks like we're okay. It looks like we're okay. We're okay. It looks like we're okay. Alright, let's continue. Having never heard of Phantasm before, I went to Google them. You mean delude them? Why would you say Google? I see it says delude. It says delude right there. So don't say you're going to Google them. Apparently, they were a Shibuya-based 4-piece gothic punk band that had been doing live concerts recently. They were so popular, in fact, that they were completely dominating the indie music scene with a female vocalist known only as Fess. Anyway, to check whether it was related to precognition or not, I clicked on the thread at the top titled Precognition and Prophecies, Phantasm General, New Gen, 43. It gave the contents a brief skim. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. No, go back. Oh no, god damn it. I wanted to read the whole thing. I didn't mean to skip it down. Fuck me, dude. Can I go back? Is there a way to quick load to Was it this? I don't know how far back that's going to be. 113? Wait. It's not 1 a.m. here. Why did you say 1? I'm going to assume it's going to be this, though, because it says the latest date, right? Or is that not today? Wait, no, today's the 24th. Today's not the 20th. So then that's not a quick load. From this. Well, fuck me, dude. I missed everything that it said before. Fuck, dude. What did it say? Fuck. What do I do? What do I do? Technically speaking... No, wait, I can't even load my game. Alright, well, we missed some of it. I pause the video, go back, rewind in the VOD, and you can read what I missed, I guess. Because apparently it won't let me go back up. Maybe. I don't know. Festard's a total shitter as LMAO. Well, TBH, I want to be insulted by Fessama in that chill voice of hers while she grinds her boots into my ass over and over until it feels like my eyes are going to fall out of their sockets. It would feel so intoxicating to stop on the edge right at the last moment. So erotic, as I wonder if she'll spit in my face or not. No matter what you think, I want Fess to just take a knife and cut open my throat, ending my life. I want to breathe my last breath as she says to me, "You're an eyesore." Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god. Yo, this dude is saging the thread. Look at this guy. Faceton is my waifu. Take that to the BDSM thread. Also, Fess is my waifu. Actually, she's mine. Stop bumping the shit. And he sages again. What a loser, saging a thread. That's what you guys mean by new gen prophecy stuff? Oh, servant revealed by the lights of the moonlit night. Connect the phantasmal paths which lead to this place. Little do they know their screams will soon turn to silence, and repose shall fall upon us as we link hand in hand within the wind. By the way, I say fuck Phantasm, but like LMAO, their fans are terrifying. You think they were all brainwashed? Lol, now you're gonna get it. Don't leak the lyrics, dumbass. What a brainless troll. Those lyrics. Depending on how you interpreted them, they could be seen as referring to the group Dive. And yet those lyrics had been released 2 months ago. Which meant they had been written after Crucifixion.
これが予知ってこと？
Could it just be a coincidence? Or could Phantasm be yet another one of the demon girl's underlings? I read the thread in more detail, only to find out that each of the 3 new gen incidents had all been prophesized by Phantasm's lyrics. However, the lyrics for the songs that supposedly prophesized the man-child and crucifixion incidents had not been posted on that channel. Apparently, uploading them online was viewed as a taboo of sorts. The philosophy seemed to be, if you really want to know, just go to the concerts and buy an album yourself. Regardless, by the way, that's not how that would work in real life. In real life, they would be posting that album online and sharing it with everybody. It's absolutely not going to be a thing where they do that. No fucking shot. Anyways, regardless, there were a great number of people online trying to predict the next new gen case based on the songs Phantasm had performed thus far. And apparently, ever since New Gen kicked off, Phantasm's albums have been completely selling out. They have been so successful, in fact, that even the mainstream media had picked up on it. Gothic band boasting cult following rises among the youth of Shibuya. News stories like that were popping up all over the place. The one writing the lyrics was the head singer, Fess. Nobody knew her real name. What if Fess was actually the demon girl? If she was, it would explain how she managed to prophesize the incidents literal months before they'd occurred. The demon girl was the culprit, after all. I tried doing an image search, but I couldn't find any good photos of her face. All the pictures were taken by phones during her concerts, and they were so blurry that I couldn't even begin to make out her face. I wiped my sweat-drenched forehead with the hem of my shirt. I was frustrated. I was scared. I couldn't believe anything. I didn't even want to see anything. Several emotions swirled within me, suffocating me. My breathing hadn't even come too close to stabilizing this entire time. But even so, I knew one thing for certain. I needed to see Fess's face. With trembling fingers, I typed in Phantasm's name and clicked on their official website. What the fuck is all this? The site was mostly black, decorated only by text of a uniform deep crimson color. It was unrelenting in its simplicity, and yet it felt so incredibly eerie and strange. There was barely anything on the site at all, just basic information on their concerts and discography. There wasn't even a single image. There were no profiles on the band members, nor anything on their song lyrics.
やっぱり犯人だけあってネットに顔写真が流出しないようにしてるのか。
True. Talk about thorough. I took a look at their performance schedule and saw that they typically performed about every other week. Their next concert
あ
was
さって
day after tomorrow. If I went to it, I'd be able to check whether Fess was the demon girl or not. But even if I did find out they were one and the same, what would I even do? Report Fess to the police? Cry and beg for her to leave me alone? Bring a crucifix and attempt a mock exorcism? Yeah, none of those were gonna happen. I was up against a demon. There was no way in hell an otaku freak like me could come out on top. Problem is, if I didn't, I'd die. She'd transform my corpse into her newest art piece, and I'd be posted on the All Things New Gen site as yet another case. That's the worst fate. I don't even care if I die, but you start posting me on the internet and people are like having fan theories about my death. Nah, fuck that shit.
そんなのやだ。
True, fuck that. But if I didn't do something, I'd never find out what that picture of me that Shogun had sent really meant. And on the off chance that Fess wasn't connected to the demon girl, maybe I could ask her to help me fight against whoever the demon girl actually was.
だけどやっぱり無理だ。ライブなんて行けるわけがない。
I never been to one in my life. That sort of thing was infinitely beyond my comfort zone. Not to mention concert halls were cramped and dark and noisy and crowded. Just imagining a place like that made me want to hurl. I was at my wit's end. I had no idea what to do. The chills on the back of my neck still hadn't gone away, and the painful prickling sensation suddenly turned into a burning one. I looked behind me yet again, and like always, nobody was there.
もうやめてよ。
Losing my mind here. I closed my eyes tightly, focusing on nothing other than waiting for the gaze to disappear. I didn't want to go through this torment for the rest of my life. For all I knew, the gaze would honestly... for all I knew, the gaze would straight up kill me someday.
考えろ、匠。僕にできることを考えろ。
Think, Takumi. Think! Think, Takumi! Wait, why is my mouse on the screen? Sorry about that. Hiding in the shadow of a telephone pole, I looked at the Gigantes Cancer... I said concert hall. Why would I say that? It's concert hall. I think I'm having a stroke here, boys. I think I've just lost it. I think I gotta go to the hospital. What the fuck is going on with me? The Gigantes Concert Hall from afar. After agonizing over it all day yesterday, I'd somehow managed to nut up and did what needed to be done. So oh wait, hold on. We have new things that I was supposed to read. Dude. Net slang. A degradation of the word dude. Originates from the similar slang word dude, but with the O's replaced with zeros. Black Mass. Also known as Witch's Sabbath. A ritual performed by satanic cultists. Although it is referred to as a Sabbath, it is the exact opposite of the masses held by the Catholic Church. When a Black Mass begins, the devil appears in the form of a giant goat. It is said that the witches then kiss the goat's buttocks, drink the blood of infants instead of wine, read aloud grimoires, and perform various impure acts. One theory states that the whole concept is nothing but a delusion crafted and perpetuated by sexually repressed priests and theologians in order to suppress heretics. Sheep, a derogatory term used to refer to those who blindly follow their leader, or shepherd, without question. Brainwashing, the use of violent methods to forcibly reconstruct someone's thoughts or principles. Brainwashing is performed by applying intense external pressure via physical methods, such as confinement, threats, physical violence, use of drugs, or psychological methods, such as instilling guilt, verbal abuse, etc. It is a method of mental reconstruction that is even stronger than mind control. Okay, so here I was, Gigantes. It is located on a narrow street in Shibuya, beneath the elevated railroad tracks. It had a very distinct red brick exterior. The exterior was lit up too, giving off an old-fashioned austere vibe. Austere vibe? That made it feel as if I'd been transported back in time to the 50s or something. To think that a spot like this was in Shibuya of all places. I had no idea it even existed until yesterday. It was only 5 minutes from the station on foot, yet there weren't very many people at all. Every once in a while a train would pass over the elevated tracks with a tremendous roar, and the telephone pole I was hiding behind would tremble slightly, but that was about it. Just a moment ago, there had been a bunch of what appeared to be Phantasm fans in front of Gigantes. Some of them were wearing outfits so out there I'd almost mistaken them for cosplayers. However, what surprised me the most was that there honestly weren't that many of them. Despite being such a huge topic online, there must have been no more than 100 people there. Regardless, they were all inside the building now. The concert had already begun, and since none of the audio managed to bleed outside, it certainly didn't feel like it. My heart palpitations had gone away after I'd fallen asleep yesterday, but they'd come back with a vengeance the second I'd arrived in front of the venue. It'd been so hard to breathe, I had almost thought I was dealing with some kind of heart failure. But really, I knew exactly why it was so bad. The place was filled with a thick, impenetrable darkness. The demon girl and her underlings could be lurking around any corner. Knowing that, I'd been on the lookout for anyone that might attack me ever since I got here. The sheer anxiety and paranoia was comparable to what it felt like going through the Wands Volcano Dungeon in ESO. Ah, yes, of course. Yeah, this reminds you of that one dungeon, you know, all the stuff about murders and new generation madness. It just reminds me of this one raid I did in ESO, you know. Mobs in the Wands Volcano Dungeon were OP as hell, and it was surrounded by the kind of lava that insta-killed you if you so much as clipped it with your pinky toe. That shit couldn't have been play-tested. The amount of times I died there, holy hell. I wiped the sweat off my forehead with a hand towel and gulped down a gob of saliva. Right as I did, the door at the top of the stairs opened, and the furious beating of drums reverberated from inside Gigantes for a few seconds. GBH reminds me of Mega Man Battle Network. Oh boy. Basically the same thing, honestly. A single guy exited from the door. He jogged nimbly down the stairs and then towards me. What? Hello? This asshole. This fucking asshole. What are you doing here? I got murder shit going on. Why are you wearing your uniform? What is this? Sup, Taku? Been waiting long? I had invited Misumi-kun to go. Oh, I did. Why did I do that? I invited Misumi-kun to go to the venue with me, as I didn't know his phone number. I'd been forced to go to school today just to ask him to go. Oh, damn. If he hadn't come with me, I probably wouldn't have even made it this far. And even if I'd somehow forced myself to go into the building alone, if the demon girl was there, it'd be a certified game over. So I had Misumi-kun operate as a scout. I did feel bad about throwing him into the line of fire, so I obviously hadn't told him about that part. The only people I could rely on were him and Nanami, so I picked the less annoying of the two. I even covered his ticket cost, so in a sense, you could say I'd hired him for 1,000 yen. $10. Hey. Here's your CD. Sweet. Misumi-kun handed me a Phantasm album. They were being sold for an outrageous premium in online auctions, but I had heard on Channel that they were also available at their concerts, so I'd asked Misumi-kun to buy one for me. Why don't we just go watch the concert? And now that I had one, I'd achieved half of the goals I'd set out for myself. As for the remaining half...
いやー、予想以上にいいな、ファンタズムって。
Misumi-kun had been acting pretty excited ever since he exited the venue.
俺、あんまミーハーになりたくなかったんで聞こうとしなかったんだけどよ。
I'm no
今
sheep.
日ちょっと生で聞いただけでファンになっちまった。
Oh no, he's a simp already. The other thing I'd asked Misumi-kun to do was report anything in particular that stood out about the band members. I knew they would all come out on stage once the concert started, so all I'd wanted him to do was a quick scan, then head back to me right after. And yet, despite my very specific instructions, he hadn't come back for a full 5 minutes after the show started. This is probably because he'd listened to the entirety of the first song.
特にボーカル。ありゃマジでいい女だぜ。
Fine ass woman right there. Fine ass. That's one way to describe it.
女見る目あるな。
What can I say, Misumi-kun? I sighed internally, thinking with the wrong head as like usual. Why was I even surprised? So much for I'm no sheep.
どんな人だった？
ああ、そっか。報告な。なんか探偵みてえで面白いな。
Kinda feels like a detective, you know? Misumi-kun grinned to himself, and I pressed him against... not against. I pressed him again to tell me about Fess's appearance.
髪型はショートカットだった。
Short hair, okay. And just like that, there was already a huge discrepancy. Did that mean Fess wasn't the demon girl? No, wait, I couldn't let myself jump to conclusions here. Yeah, what if she just cut her hair? You ever think of that? She could have cut her hair, or she could have used hair extensions, or she could have changed it in some other way. It wouldn't surprise me if she'd been in disguise when I'd seen her at the crime scene. Hair extensions. Also known as a hairpiece, a type of hair accessory. It is a patch of artificial hair worn primarily by women for fashion purposes.
スタイルがすっげえ良くて、あと背が高かったな。
Real hourglass type shit we had going on there, boy. I tell you.
Sega.
Sega? And the same height as you. Misumi-kun and I were about the same height, which meant Fez was probably about 170 centimeters tall. Pretty short, why did I say short? That's the opposite of what that says. Why would I say that? Pretty tall for a girl. But I hadn't gotten that impression at all when I'd encountered the demon girl. My memories from back then were hazy, but I still felt like the demon girl had been shorter than me. Yet another thing that didn't line up then.
他には？
そうだな。アンニュイな雰囲気してたな。
Yeah, she's too cool. She's too cool.
声はクールってイメージかな。結構ボソボソと喋るタイプだった。
Talking in whispers.
胸のサイズはまあまあ。
As for the tits, of course, we gotta report on that.
でもゴスパンの服は妙な色気があったぜ。ああいうのもありだな。断然あり。
Not bad at all. Oh, god damn it. Every single word he said was completely fucking useless. This screenshot's amazing. There you go. Oh, fuck. Then again, I'd only gotten a quick look at the demon girl, so I couldn't exactly list her features. This plan was probably doomed from the start.
っていうかよ。そんなにフェスに興味あるなら自分の目で見ればいいじゃねえか。
Let's hit it. Misumi-kun began to push me from behind, forcing me up the stairs to Gigantes. I desperately tried to fight back, but Misumi-kun was stronger than me. I couldn't get away.
見たいんだろフェスの顔を。素直に浮気ってのは男の差がだよな。たくも大人になったもんだぜ。
Fooling around with another chick's a big part of a man's life, Taku, my boy. Come on, you're becoming a man, Taku.
この前一緒に帰ってたメガネの子のことは今夜だけは気にすんなって。
Yeah, why? We didn't update him on the US situation, okay? She's crazy. We don't have to worry about her anymore. What the hell was he talking about? Jesse, what the hell are you talking about? I tried to stand my ground and fight back, but to my horror, I realized that I was already at the top of the stairs. While it was only the second floor, if I were to slip and fall, it would hurt like hell. Just the thought made me stop resisting as hard. And in that moment of weakness, my entire body weight was sent crashing through the door and into the venue. Alright, it's time. The Redditor's strength is good enough to escape Taku. The second I hit the inside, an explosion of sound blasted my eardrums. I never experienced something so loud before. Concerts are fucking loud. Holy shit. I've been to concerts before. I don't think I enjoy them just because of how really fucking loud they are for me. Like, holy fuck. Like, there's annoyingly loud for me. Even the pit of my stomach was being forcibly shaken by the vibrations. It was so intense, it felt as if my entire body was being crushed to pieces. There's no seats in the venue. Everyone was standing up to watch. They were all rocking their bodies in rhythm with each other, shouting "Fess, Fess, Fess" as their fists shot up and down. Still nowhere near the level of Wotage performance, though. A unique cheer or performance from a selection of fans enact at idol concerts and other live shows. Some performances include very intense physical movements, with each and every one of the movements having a specific name to them. Fans in an audience performing Wotage in perfect coordination is a sight to behold. I think they did stuff like that when I went to Anime Boston this year, and we went to the VTuber panel that they had with the Hakan battle. Still nowhere near the level of a Wotage performance, though. The heat was devastating. It made me want to vomit. I might have been an otaku, but I was definitely not the type to obsess over idols or voice actors. Honestly, I hated this kind of atmosphere. I could tell I stuck out like a sore thumb, but thankfully nobody was paying any attention to me. There were so many people in front of me, I could barely see the stage at the far end of the room, just the blinding stage light and the faint figure of 4 people standing under them. And I was getting overwhelmed by everything happening around me. Misumi-kun handed me a plastic cup of soda. Seemed like Misumi-kun had paid for my ticket too. I have to make sure to pay him back later. Is it insert song time? Before I knew it, the song was over. The audience clapped and cheered. Then, having seemingly calmed down a little, everyone brought down their fists. Thanks to that, the road to the stage finally opened up, and I was able to see it clearly. I got a good look at the short-haired girl standing in the middle of the stage. She was definitely not the demon girl. Yo? Yo? Hello? The world is very translucent. The voice coming through the amp sounded nothing like the demon girl that had said those cryptic words to me. Misumi-kun was right. Fess definitely had an aloof vibe to her. Despite her short hair, she didn't feel boyish. She gave off this mysterious aura with a mix of charm, allure, and a hint of distance. And to top it all off, the silver accessories she was wearing all glittered fantastically as they reflected the lights. It felt like I was starting to understand why there were so much threads about her on that channel. In this kind of concert, I thought that the band members would be more energetic, but Fess seemed incredibly indifferent during the intermission. She was pretty much the exact opposite of the excited audience. Maybe she was just the type of person she was. But it seemed like the audience wasn't surprised by that. They just stayed silent during the break, listening closely to Fess's words. They need to listen to the prophecies, you know? The gate of Cocytus? That had been closed? Cocytus. In Greek mythology, is one of the 2 rivers located at the entrance to the underworld. The name translates to River of Lamentation. Lamentation? 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 The dead cross the river in order to enter the underworld. I'm sorry, what? Cocytus? What language is she even speaking? Or is it Cocytus? Cocytus? I don't know. The world's equilibrium has been maintained for millennia since the birth of the Greater Will. She will sing. Chaos. She accepts my chaos. Oh, I guess they were a goth punk band, so the band members probably had characters that they played. Maybe it was an easy way to win over the hearts of fans. Just spout some nonsense, random nonsense that hinted that it might mean something, giving it enough mystique that people keep people engrossed. Speaking of mystique, Fess was holding something strange in her hand. In her left hand was a plain old mic, but in the other she was holding some sort of weirdly shaped mic stand. It looked kind of like a sword. It was shaped so elegantly. It felt sinister. It looked so sharp that if you even so much as grazed it, it would slice your finger in two. It was huge too, as tall as Fez, in fact. There were also lines of glass embedded into it, which glowed with an ominous blue light. I couldn't tell if it was really a sword or not, but either way, it wasn't half bad as a character accessory. No complaints there. I was strangely captivated by it. Then, using only her right arm, Fez casually lifted the mic stand. The huge mic stand. And with an underhand grip, she swung it sideways. The blue light from the glass drew a wide arc with its afterglow. What the hell? That was so dangerous. What if she hit someone in the crowd? That wasn't a mic stand. Could it be a sword? And every night she would use it to cut the throat of some poor audience member, harvesting blood to offer to the demon girl, or something. Was this concert actually some sort of black mass organized by a bunch of witches? A fierce chill ran down my spine just thinking about it. Goosebumps covered my entire body. I should really get out of here ASAP, but the moment I thought about that, Fess let out a gentle whisper. Third song of the night. The Necklace of Vajrayana. Vajrayana, but yeah. The crowd let out a huge cry of joy upon hearing it. Yeah, let's go. Yo, oh my, holy shit. That fucking sword mic stand. Holy fuck. Alright, this is actually the band that does the Sonic songs. Yeah, this is them. This is the early days. Oh. I didn't realize we'd have a vocal song right now. She's singing it. A moment later, the members of Phantasm all started playing, and a second flood of sound poured into my ears. A thunderous roar came from the speakers, a roar that felt like it was going to blow out my eardrums. How had these people not gone deaf yet, hanging out in places like this all the time? They have gone deaf, and that's why they're able to maintain there. That's probably what it is, you know. Looking to my side, I noticed Misume-kun was fully into it, pumping his fist in sync with the rest of the audience. The intro ended, Fess began to sing, and when I heard the lyrics, I swallowed hard. What? She was singing the prophetic song that had been posted all over @channel. What just happened there? It was a dark piece that didn't feel the slightest bit optimistic. Even its melody felt like a religious psalm, and the lyrics definitely didn't help. Crush 64. I think their name was Crush 41. I don't think it's 64. I don't remember the number. Maybe it was Crush 40. Anyways, this is not actually that. I was just memeing, by the way. But everyone was getting riled up at first. But as the song went on, the excitement dropped further and further, and by the end, everyone just stood there, not saying a word. But that was because everyone was fully lost in the sound. Some of them just stared at Fess, completely entranced. There was definitely something about Fess's singing voice that captivated people. Even as I battled fear and nausea in the middle of the crowd, I found myself listening very closely to her song, not wanting to miss it. Goosebumps sprang up all over me. For a moment, it felt like the air itself had frozen over. The song ended. Fess was looking down at the stage, swaying her body from side to side as she soaked in the last echoes of the music. And then she suddenly looked back up, and without even gazing around for a second, she instantly... What? Looked at me. Me? And it wasn't like she just glanced in the general direction of my eyes, or like she briefly made eye contact with me or anything like that. Fess was blatantly looking right at me. Alright, well, let's do a positive delusion. Let's see what that does. I didn't even go far as to say she was staring at me, fixedly, as if evaluating my existence, as if searching deep within my heart. Her gaze was all too intense, and yet somehow she seemed a little sad. As she descended from the stage into the audience, I couldn't take my eyes off her. What was going through her head, I wondered. The rest of the Phantasm members resumed playing. But Fess wasn't singing this time. She just wandered about in the middle of the crowd, and then she casually threw her jacket off, exposing her sexy shoulders. The previously quiet fans were getting excited once again. Everyone threw their fists in the air as they jumped up and down wildly. They made the ground shake so hard it felt like an earthquake. However, nobody laid a finger on Fess. Maybe they thought she was too holy of an existence to be touched. Normally, if a girl with her charisma dove into the crowd... Yo, crowd, can you chill out? You're getting too loud. I'm trying to read. Normally, if a girl with her charisma dove into the crowd, it wouldn't be surprising if they got crushed to death. But it seemed like Phantasm's herd of sheep had agreed to restrain themselves, all abiding by the unspoken rule of do not touch Fess. And in doing so, they could feel Fess's presence right in front of them. They could savor the fragrance of Fess's sweat. They could touch the same air as Fess. And that was the greatest joy her followers could ever know. Until this point, I thought that this was just any other performance. But I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw what Fess did next. She casually began to unfasten the belt around her waist, and then she threw it to the crowd. All of her followers instantly reached for it, competing with one another to lay their claim over it. Then, with a sidelong glance at them, Fess... goddamn! Unzipped her miniskirt. Fess just getting naked from everybody. Her skirt gently fell to her feet. Her black sensual underwear was exposed. She seemed to not have a care in the world about her acolytes. That's the word we're getting, acolytes? Her acolytes seeing her in such revealing clothing. Maybe she was high off the atmosphere of the venue, or maybe this was part of the performance, or maybe she was just an exhibitionist. I had no idea, but her utter eroticism kept my eyes glued to her all the same. Fess looked at me once more. Her lips formed a bewitching smile. What? She's what? Fess's eyes were fixed on me, never once looking elsewhere. She slowly started approaching, as if she had found her target. Then, when she finally arrived before my very eyes... Are we gonna fucking die? Are we gonna die? I picked positive, though. Does that mean we'd still die? As if I was her lover, she blew her sweet breath towards me and wrapped her arms around me. Yo, the speedrun is insane, boys. What can I say? What can I say, boys? The speedrun is insane. Welcome, Amidst. You came just in time for my popular times. My popular times are here, Amidst. We're getting all the ladies by just going to their concerts. I didn't even say anything. Your skin was slightly damp with sweat. The scent and warmth were so alluring, they made me dizzy. Her breast pressed up against me quickly and repeatedly rubbing up and down my body. I guess it's true what they say about singing being exhausting, because I could feel her ragged breath directly on my skin. rising up by perception. I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Her arms were wrapped around my back, holding me close. Her nails were digging into the nape of my neck, and her thighs were twined around my leg. Is she just fucking us in front of the whole crowd? What is going on here? There's like a shit ton of people here. Shivers ran through my entire body like jolts of electricity. I wasn't able to push her aside, nor could I return her embrace. The only thing I could do was stand still, staring at her with my eyes wide in confusion. Her followers cheered again, but this time, the noises they made sounded more like screams. The music played by Phantasm intensified. Chants of "Fess" echoed throughout the venue. Then shouts of do it" began to follow. Literally the crowd just telling her to fuck me in front of everybody right now. What? You're a woman and women want me. I'm what we have in common. Damn. Do it? Do what exactly? In a situation like this, what could they be talking about? I had no idea. Fess, meanwhile, just kept hugging me in silence. Seeking help, I looked for Misumi-kun's silhouette in the crowd. But when I found him, to my surprise, he was sharing an intense kiss with a girl in the crowd I'd never seen before. Bro! No, it wasn't just Misumi-kun. The rest of the acolytes, boys and girls alike, were throwing their clothes off, getting as naked as the day they were born. What did we do? Some embraced one another, others placed their lips together, and some were even beginning to do the deed. Was that their taxes? That's what that means, right? Hell screams of pandemonium complemented the gluttony of carnal pleasure. Moans, groans, and the obscene sounds of flesh rubbing against flesh pervaded throughout the venue where Phantasm had just performed. This is a black mass. I finally realized this was an obscene feast hosted by the witch known as Fess. And more importantly, the sacrifice brought in for the witch today was me. I had been chosen as the partner for Fess. Was this really what a Phantasm concert was like? And I was also beginning to lose myself in the atmosphere. I could feel a hazy mist engulfing my mind. I felt excitement towards what was to come, but also dread. I felt superior, having been chosen by Fess, but also completely entranced by ecstasy. I thought I was going insane. Like time, the world had completely stopped. Wait, hold on. I thought I was going insane. Short for the full quote. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I blank, but before I knew it, blank. I'm sure you don't understand what I'm saying, but I don't really understand it either. I thought I was going insane. It wasn't anything simple, like hypnosis or super speed. On top of that, I feel like I was only going to experience the tip of the iceberg. A quotation from a popular manga about bizarre adventures, often used in order to cope with difficult-to-understand situations in a comedic fashion. We got another JoJo reference that's at the tower. Okay. As an account, I can confirm they're not doing their taxes. Oh, as an accountant. I see. All in front of God. This is eyes wide shut shit. Do I need to play another game before this, like any prequel games? No, Chaos and Noah is like the definitive remake of it. If you do get this game, it is on Steam. You don't want to play the game just off the version on Steam. There is a fan patch that you have to get that fixes a whole fuck ton of problems. The localization of it officially is dog shit with its translations and like other stuff that it does. So if you get this on Steam, get the fan translation from Committee of Zero. But you can just start off with Chaos Head. It's from the Science Adventure series. It's the first entry of it. So it was before Steins Gate and Chaos Child. So you can just go into this. What we're experiencing right now, so the gimmick of this game is you can pick delusions that your character can experience at times. You can pick a positive delusion, you can pick a negative delusion, or you can pick no delusion. I've gone to a concert to continue the story, and I've chose to experience a positive delusion. And now a surprise orgy has just happened. It happens. It happens. Fess's laughter reached my ears once more. Even in this flood of sound, I could hear her voice clear as day. What a sexy voice. Just hearing the sound of it put me on the verge of fainting. But Fess was seducing me into diving further and further into this melting pot of pleasure. Her teeth lightly sank into my earlobe. What? She let out a sigh right into my ear, and then she whispered,
その目、誰の目?
She said the thing! And then we wake up from the dream. Yep, we do. Yep. From the delusion. Whoa, we went all the way back home?
フェスエロいよ、フェス。
We just cut from seeing the concert, her staring at us, to just imagining that she fucked us in front of the whole crowd, and then we're just back home, like, we're a simp for her. That was essentially all a message saying that we're simping hard for her now. We're a simp for her. By the way, we live in a shipping container. I am not joking. I am not saying a metaphor. We live in a literal shipping container at the top of a building. That is where we live. We live in a shipping container that we padlock shut so nobody can get in. This is our character. This is our protagonist here. Totally normal. I mean, yeah, I guess you could call this positive. I mean, we got to fuck the Fess in front of like a whole crowd. We started an orgy just by existing. I'm just saying. Fess, you're so sexy, Fess. Sitting in front of my PC, I'd gotten lost in another delusion of mine. The concert I'd gone to earlier today was great inspiration. After all, as far as 3D girls went, Fess was pretty nice. That said, the number of people in the crowd had been way too high. Hell would have to freeze over for me to go there again. I wanted to GTFO basically the entire time. Net slang, short for get the fuck out. An expletive used to tell someone to go away, or a phrase talking about leaving in general, and be used to express disbelief. In the end, the size of the crowd made me too sick, so I had to rush to leave the venue. Today's delusion had been awesome, and who knows, maybe Phantasm and Fess actually did do that kind of stuff. They just decided to skip today. Yeah, obviously. Well, anyway, guess I'll log onto ESO or something quick, back onto our MMOs. We gotta log back on. To me, ESO was my life. It was my happy place, a breath of fresh air that let me forget all about the real world. As long as I could immerse myself in ESO, I could forget all about my troubles. I could stop being me, and instead wander Bazelard as Neidhart. But today, for some reason, Neidhart was a little off. Yes, I knew that he relied entirely on my inputs and my decisions, but somehow I found myself struggling to pull off things I could normally do with my eyes closed. This game was supposed to be a breath of fresh air, but today, the more I played it, the more irritated I got.
なんだよこいつ!
Bro, what the fuck?
捨てるぞお前!
Getting angry at your avatar. I knew it was all my fault, but I still took the anger out on Neidhart.
ああもうムカつく!
I yanked at my chair and kicked the bare steel wall. Having let out all my anger, I took a deep breath and sat back down on my chair. I stared vacantly at my monitor. Neidhart was just standing there, facing toward the gates of the city. Shangri-Lu frontier, free of my control. His back was facing towards me, just as it always was when I fought enemies. And of course, he was at the maximum level. Naturally.
僕の経験値っていくつなんだろう?
I wonder what level I am. Had the human known as Nishijo Takumi leveled up even slightly since he started playing ESO? No, since he'd been born? If I had, then why was I still so bad at talking to people, even though I was nearly an adult? Why was I a borderline shut-in? If I didn't log in as Neidhart for weeks, would he also turn into a shut-in like me? Whose eyes are those eyes? I suddenly remember those words as I stared at Neidhart's back. I was mildly interested in what Neidhart would do as I wasn't controlling him. So I figured I'd observe him a little bit. I left my keyboard alone as I ate some chips.
もしナイト
Take
ハ
a
ルトに
potato
自我
chip.
があると
I'd
した
take a
ら
potato chip and eat it too. And surely he'd waltz right back, right into city of Shangri-La, wind blowing against his shoulders, right? He was the hero everyone worshipped, after all.
I'll take a potato chip.
ねえナイトハルト僕はいつでもお前を見てるんだぞ
What are we doing here with Neidhart? Positive delusion? Negative delusion? No delusion? Well, we did do a positive one, so maybe we should do a negative one now. Balance it out. But I also want to know what's the positive delusion for a gamer. I want to know what the gamer's positive delusion is. That sounds like that'd be interesting. Fuck it, we're doing it. Okay. Hey, Neidhart, I'm always looking at you, you know.
お前はそれに気づいてるの
Alright, positive delusion time. For gaming. And then... let's go to the 2D world. I hadn't typed anything, and yet Neidhart still spoke. What? Thinking it was just an optical illusion, I rubbed my eyes, but the messages were still there, displayed in the chat. Also known as a visual illusion, a phenomenon in which information is perceived incorrectly, but the person receiving it is still able to logically discern that it is incorrect. This can happen regardless of the person's mental state. One of the most famous examples is the Mueller-Lyer illusion. Mueller-Lyer? Sight is established when light received by the eyes is transmitted to the cerebrum via the optic nerve. Once it reaches that location, it acts as a stimulus, and the light information is translated into what we perceive as sight. However, this process involves extrapolating the structure of the external world based purely on light information, which is only made possible by utilizing a filter of empirical data. This leaves room for errors in perception. There's a theory that states that optical illusions occur when an error is generated as a result of the brain operating under a cause and effect hypothesis, but arriving at a false conclusion. In this case, the conclusion based on one's experiences up until that point does not match up with reality, causing dissonance. As well as this, there is a theory that humans block out 99% of what they perceived. It is said that if a person were to process all 100% of what they perceive, they would not be able to remain sane. It makes sense. Damn, when the 3D fictional MMO character prefers 2D. Go to the 2D world? What was that supposed to mean? Even you could be a hero here. We'll fight together.
僕に言ってるの
You're not into 3D, right? You couldn't care less about it.
いやそうだけど
But you're also a 3D world, Neidhart. Neidhart was speaking to me. The player controlling him. What the fuck? Net slang, short for what the fuck. Or WTF, I should be reading as WTF. An expletive used to represent any number of emotions, such as anger, surprise, confusion, etc. A popular alternative is the shorthand, the fuck? Example, the fuck is going on? Did he have a will of his own after all? Place your hand on the monitor. When you do, you'll be able to enter Baselard as Nishijo Takumi. Password is... Whose eyes are those eyes?
だが断る
Damn.
二次元世界に行くな
JoJo
ら
reference
せっ
to
かくだから
refuse.
僕はエロゲの世界を選ぶぜ
I'm for sure picking Eroge, not your dumbass world.
バゼラードはお前に任せるよナイトハルト
Bitch. After replying, I used force shutdown to turn off my computer. And there you go. We shut that shit down, and then we went to the store. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Hold on, wait. I think my phone's dying. I need my phone to not die. Let me plug it in. I reluctantly decided to go to school today, but before I knew it, I found myself going to buy a phone with my sister, my little sister. I'm sure you don't understand what I'm saying, but I don't really understand it either. I thought I was going insane.
お兄何ブツブツ言ってんの
We haven't seen her in a long while. I think I want to go home. Besides, how many times do I have to tell you that I don't need a cell phone? God, it hurts having a sister as this brain dead. When I had gone to school today, Nanami had her assault. What? When I had gone to school today, Nanami had made her assault right in my classroom. After happily saying, "Wow, you actually came to school today," she ordered me to go out and buy a phone with her once school was over. Once the bell rang, I tried to escape without her noticing, but I had forgotten how quick Nanami was on her feet. So after being chased and easily caught up to, I found myself being dragged all the way to the front of the station. I didn't want to go anywhere near the station, and I felt like that the whole way there. Even now, I already felt like I was going to throw up. Nanami, though, not giving a damn about what I felt, was busy admiring the many different models on display in the front of the store. I tried to wrap my head around why exactly Nanami was so insistent about getting me a phone, but I just got a headache instead.
これ色が結構可愛いじゃん。いいと思うな。
Since she was asking for my opinion, I gave a simple reply.
それっていい
It's fine.
うんでもなお兄にはちょっと可愛すぎ
His
た
face. That
似合わなさ
face.
そう
It's like the colon 3 face. No, it wouldn't be colon 3 because this is like a sideways 3. It's like a cute looking, like a pouty. Actually, it might be a bit too cutesy for you. It doesn't really fit you, you know? See, it didn't even matter what I said. That would happen regardless. I'd completely lost track of how many times it said that's fine by this point. She would ask for my opinion, but she didn't actually intend to listen to it. This is exactly why 3D girls suck so much ass.
お兄大丈夫やっぱり人の多さにやられちゃった
Yes, can I go home?
で休もうか
Yo, MacD? MacD? The fucking prime hangout bar for DQNs? That place was hell incarnate. No, it's base though. You got good food. Give me some nugs. I violently shook my head no.
そっかじゃあなるべく早めに決めるねでもちょっと迷っちゃっててさ
I sighed, deciding to leave Nanami behind and go home. While Nanami intensely examined the array of cell phones, I took my chance to slip away. Can I get out of here? Right as I turned towards 107, I saw something so strange it stopped me dead in my tracks. What was that? Across the crowds of people, on the stairs to 107, stood a girl that stuck out like a sore thumb. Was she holding a sword? The color and aura it gave off of... What? Am I reading this right? The color and aura it gave off of felt somewhat... Is that supposed to be how that sentence works? Am I dumb? I feel like there's an extra... The of should not be there. The color and aura it gave off felt somewhat similar to the mic stand Fest had been using at the concert. In fact, I'd say it was perfectly fair to think of them in the same vein. But even then, it was still one massive sword. It might have been even longer than Fest's mic stand. To my surprise, the girl was wearing a Suimei uniform. I couldn't make out her face from this distance, but despite holding something so conspicuous, the girl seemed relaxed as could be. She simply watched the people walk down the street from atop the stairs. Talk about bravery. I was seriously impressed. I couldn't believe she was walking around right smack in the middle of Shibuya with that massive toy sword. Must have been one hell of a humiliation fetish. Was the sword a cosplay prop from some new anime? And then again, I was pretty familiar with all the anime that were airing. Was there really a series with a sword like that? Had it slipped under my radar? Of course, walking around Shibuya holding one would be too much for me, but the sword itself was pretty damn cool. Kinda wanted to get one, honestly. I wondered if I could get one in Akiba. Even better if I could order it online.
鬼
Fuck, we got caught. I was suddenly struck with an elbow to the back. The pain almost made me black out and collapse on the spot. I turned around to find Nanami with her hands on her hips, sullen as could be.
もしかして逃げようとした？
No, no, not at all!
確かにナナが選ぶのに時間かけすぎたのは悪いと思うけどさ。だからってナナを置き去りにして逃げようとするなんてひどいよ。
Listen, you had to hurry up. I lazily shook my head from side to side.
お兄のバカ、携帯の電磁波の浴びすぎで心臓を悪くして死んじゃえ。
I think I screen capped this years ago when I first launched this game initially. You big jerk, I hope your phone hits you with so many EM waves that you die of kidney failure. Electromagnetic waves. Waves that exhibit properties of both electricity and magnetism. First formally postulated by James Clerk Maxwell in 1864, the electric field and magnetic field's oscillations cause them to mutually propagate each other, resulting in a wave that radiates through its surroundings. For that reason, these waves are referred to as electromagnetic waves. Electromagnetic EM waves are divided by frequency into radio waves, infrared light, visible light, X-rays, ultraviolet light, and gamma rays. Electromagnetic waves have long been thought to have harmful effects on the human body, but the World Health Organization, HWO, has made a statement claiming that there is no scientific foundation behind the idea, nor evidence that supports a causal relation between the two. However, there's currently no evidence that disproves the relationship either. The fuck was her deal?
一生懸命お兄のために選んであげてたナナがバカみたいじゃん。こうなったらもう適当に決める。お兄なんてナナと同じ機種で十分だよ。
Nanami forcefully grabbed my arm.
本気で今日契約するんだからね。それまで絶対逃がさない。
わかったよ。
Alright, alright.
わかったならさっさと来て。
I didn't have a clue why Nanami had gotten so worked up. She really was a pain in the ass. In the end, Nanami picked out a model with ease, as if she hadn't just spent 10 years trying to choose. After spending around an hour on the contract and other technical stuff, I tried to finally head back home with my phone, but Nanami stopped me.
ナナが初期設定してあげるからマクディやろ。
Yo, going to MacD. We're going to MacD. Without waiting for a response, she grabbed me by the back of my collar and started dragging me to the nearest MacD against my will. Yeah, I get 40 nugs.
どうせお兄携帯持って帰っても電源入れずにほったらかしにするに決まってるんだから。
Would I do that? Me? No, never.
ナナがちゃんと使えるようにしてあげる。
Okay. God damn it, how much longer was she planning to hold me hostage? And out of all the places she could have chosen to do it, why McD? The inside of the Shibuya McD was the embodiment of chaos. There were shitloads of people and none of them ever shut the hell up. The sheer amount of DQNs was off the charts. At the table right next to us sat 3 DQN tier mothers with dyed brown hair. And to make things even better, they'd brought their kids with them. They just left their children, 3 little crotch goblins with red highlights, to be specific, to run around the restaurant squealing their heads off, and instead of controlling them, they just kept on chatting away. At a different table was yet another group of DQNs, this time made up of 4 high school guys, all laughing like obnoxious pricks. Next, 2 high school girls, complete with baggy socks and dyed brown hair, sat opposite to each other, hyper-focused on their phones. They didn't even bother talking. Besides them was a snoring, middle-aged businessman slumped down on his table, making it pretty obvious that he was skipping out on work. But what really made me double take was this table close by with a group of 5 elementary schoolers. Some boys, some girls. They all sat there while their little school with their little school bags on the floor, happily chatting it up with each other as their legs swung back and forth beneath the table. So considering this was a co-ed, was it a mixer? It was, wasn't it? Weren't they elementary schoolers? Well, regardless, the point is that as far as the eye could see, there were groups of people that I avoided like the plague. Nanami had no problem at all relaxing at a place like this. Me, on the other hand, just setting foot in here only served to make my headache and nausea 1,000 times worse. Wait, why the hell did I have to play along with my sister and stay here in the first place?
ねえねえ着信メロディーはどうする？なんか希望ある？
Without even looking in my direction, Nanami played around with my phone as she prodded me for an answer.
アニソン
Yeah, Anisong. Anisong.
却下。
Overruled.
そんなだからお兄はオタクさんなんだよ。
What? Come on, can I get the Chainsaw Man opening? Can I get kickback? You're the one asking me what I prefer. Come on, it's my phone, so at least let me pick what I want.
あ、そうだ。大村彼らの新曲にしたら？あれ
大村彼ら？
すっごくいい曲だよ。最近のナナのお気に入り。
それこそ却下だ
Yeah, no, that's overruled.
うん、まあ、お兄に大村彼らは似合わないか。
Yeah, I totally know what that is. After showing how little she actually cared about what I thought, Nami took a bite out of one of her fries, her french fries. I should probably mention that this bitch asked for a fish sandwich combo before dinner. One that I had paid for. I had to pay for it. I, meanwhile, was feeling so garbage that my appetite was long gone. Piece of shit sister spoiling her appetite, and mine, fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
そうそう。それとね。
He's very, always violent towards his sister. God damn. For whatever reason, Nanami placed her bag on her lap and started digging through its contents.
お、あったあった。
And she proudly took out... Is it Garo Froggy? It's the Garo Froggy.
ゲロカエルンの
A
不良品
defective Garo Froggy?
不良品じゃないよ。先週出たギョロリゲロカエルン。
It's the googly Garo Froggy. That came out last week. Duh, obviously. The what?
知らないんだ。やっぱ遅れてるな、お兄は。
No, I live in a shipping container. It's probably worse, actually.
ゲロカエルンって毎週金曜日に新作が発売されてるんだ
Every
よ。
Friday? Yo, it's the Friday Froggy. It's the Friday Froggy.
もう全部で12種類ぐらいあるんだから。
12? Seriously? Was there really enough demand for weekly releases?
ナナが携帯につけてるのは最初に出た普通のゲロカエルン
That's the ordinary Garo Froggy. That's nothing. This is the googly Garo Froggy.
で、次がデブッチョ
Oh,
ゲロ
there's
カエルン
fatty
で
and rugged.
その次が
That's giving a beat, and Nanami is saying the names of the various Garo Froggies.
第4弾がのっぺらゲロカエルン
Smooth
で
Froggy,
第
Shining
5弾が
Froggy.
華やかゲロカエルン第6弾が一番人気があって猫ゲロカエルンっていうの
A cat Garo Froggy? So it's not a frog, it's a cat? Or
その後が幽霊ゲロカエルン
spooky Garo
眠る
Froggy,
ゲロカエルン
sleepy,
燃えるゲロカエルン
burning,
ゾンビゲロカエルン酔っ払いゲロカエルン
drunk Garo Froggy, Kermit the Froggy. How the hell did she remember all those? Hang on, had she?
お前コンプリートしてるの
Of course.
もちろんだよ
Mochiron だよ
全部集めなきゃ意味ないもん
You gotta catch them all.
毎週買うのに行列ができるんだからね
For a half-ass piece of garbage like that? To be honest, even I could shit up out a better design. Yeah, can you? Because this is making, like, money. Takumi, alright? Why don't you do better, Takumi? This is printing fucking money. Wait, why did she even decide to start lecturing me on Garo Froggies to begin with?
というわけでこのギョロリゲロカエルンあげる
We're getting a Garo Froggy. The Googling Garo Froggy.
なんで
このストラップを携帯につければ少しは女子から「おやるな」っていう目で見てもらえるから。
Oh yeah, all the ladies are gonna come to us for the googly Garo Froggy. You know, I mean, it's actually not. It's probably not wrong too. After saying that, Nanami started to put the strap on my phone. I don't want that. The fuck?
コンプしなきゃ意味ないんだろ。僕がそれもらったらお前揃わないぞ。
Oh no, I have an extra.
心配しなくても大丈夫。
I bought 2. One just for you.
毎回2つ買ってるのか。
I was starting to seriously doubt her aesthetic taste.
今回だけだよ。お兄の携帯用に
For
余分
me
に
and
買
my
ったの。
phone.
わざわざ。
わざわざ。
Waza. Having now finished attaching the strap, Nanami gave a satisfied nod before wrapping her mouth around her soda straw. Then, she suddenly leaned forward, startling me.
別に並んだのはお兄のためじゃないよ。
Come on now.
あくまでついでなんだから。
Uh-huh.
いらない。
Yeah, well, I don't fucking want it. You don't know. Still leaning forward, Nanami opened her eyes wide. She looked like she might throttle me at any moment.
いらないって。ナナがわざわざ買ってきてあげたのに。
Yeah, I didn't ask for it. What the fuck you want? What?
ついでだったんだろ。っていうか僕ゲロカエルンとか興味ないし、むしろキモいし。
だからお兄は女子にモテないんだよ。
Well, I'll have you know I'm actually pretty popular. I just had a stalker last week. Fess, you know, from popular band Phantasm, looked at me. And I had a delusion where we had an orgy in front of everybody. So I think that's peak. I think we're up there with the ladies. I almost expected her to slap me, but surprisingly, Nanami managed to rein in her temper and sit back down. Then, instead of taking her anger out on me, she started nibbling on a fry instead as she sulked.
でも抵抗しても無駄だからね。よろりゲロカエルン、もう食っ
She sure was acting like the queen of everything. Then again, I knew jack shit about cell phones, so it was true that Nanami knew best here.
もし勝手に外したら毎週並んでもらうの刑だからね。
The weekly line
並ぶって。
for the Garo Froggies.
決まってんじゃん。新作ゲロカエルンを買うための行列。2時間
A couple hours? You want to wait in line for a couple hours for a fucking frog I don't even want? What do you want? What? Not a chance in hell. No way was I going to let my sister hit me with a threat like that. For a while after that, Nanami wordlessly continued to fiddle around with my phone. I wasn't particularly picky about whatever she was setting up, so I was honestly grateful for the silence.
なんだか変な気分だな。
The next time she opened her mouth, her sullen demeanor from before had completely disappeared. I guess she only needed a few minutes to forget annoying shit. I guess she only needed a few minutes to forget annoying shit instead of having to sleep it off. Talking about easygoing. In a way, I envied her.
うん、やっぱ変だよ。お兄とこうして2人で出かけるのって久しぶりな気がするもん。
Yeah, just going out and hanging out the Mickey D's together.
いつ以来かな。よく思い出せないや。お兄はいっつも部屋にこもってアニメ見てるかゲームしてるかだもんね。ま、たまにはこういうのもいいかな、新鮮で。さすがに毎日はナナも嫌だけど。
Yeah, I don't even like doing it the one day, alright? I want to go home. What is this CG? Oh, screenshot that for future reference. Nanami placed my phone on the table and picked up her fish sandwich. She happily undid the wrapping, then heartily sank her teeth in. Come to think of it, I feel like she'd said at one point that the fish sandwich here was her favorite food. The McDonald's fish sandwich? What?
せいぜい太るがいいさ。
God, what? Have fun getting fat cow. What did he? Why? Nanami instantly stopped moving. She glared at me menacingly. Then, after hesitating for a second, she bashfully held out her half-eaten fish sandwich. No, 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 this is not happening. This is not happening. You are not gonna feed me a McDonald's fish sandwich right now. You are not doing the hi, you are not doing that. What? You're not doing that? What?
もう手遅れだよ。
ふひ
そういうこと言うと上司に嫌われるって覚えといた方がいいよバカ者。
That's probably his goal, actually. Nanami ended up finishing the fish sandwich all on her own. What a fucking bad ass. What a fucking fat ass. What's going on? What's on his sign? Judgment is nigh for this city. It's probably true. After that, Nanami held me hostage with hours of useless chatter, and by the time I finally had my phone back, it was already dark. It had been a long, painful few hours, but eventually I was able to get away from Nanami and start heading back home. Fall seemed to be in full swing now, with the night breeze carrying a slight chill, one that soothed my headache and nausea. Those two things never failed to torment me whenever I spent a long time in crowds. Honestly, Nanami, KYS. Okay, don't actually, but still, KYS. He really said low tier god yourself right now. So, she only ever thought about it herself. She probably didn't even have a clue about how much torture she constantly inflicted on me. If I had the option, I'd love to snap my new phone cleanly in half right now and throw it into the nearest trash can. It wasn't like I'd bought it with my own money after all. But if I actually did that, it wouldn't just be Nanami that had come to my base, but my parents too. And then without picking up on a damn thing, they'd just go, oh, since it broke on you, let's go and buy you a new... What the... There's a fly, and it keeps annoying me. Okay. And then without picking up on a damn thing, they just go, oh, since it broke on you, let's go and buy you a new one, like the idiots they were. Thus, I reluctantly suppressed my urges to smash the damn thing. I needed to get home, and quickly, so I could hear another night of ESO calling my name. I could hear another night of ESO calling my name. Not a single day had passed recently that hadn't filled me with endless anxiety. I really hope my peaceful everyday life would hurry up and come back already. On that night, another grotesque case occurred. The fourth New Gen case. Like always, Grim laid out the details to me when I was playing ESO. What's up, Grim? A bit later than usual today, eh? Whose eyes are those eyes? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I couldn't believe my eyes. Why did Grim know that phrase? I was completely taken aback. My fingers trembled on the keyboard. I didn't even know where to start with responding. Hell, even just looking at what he typed nearly took everything out of me. The fourth New Gen case happened! Been following the shitstorm this whole time. Things be really heating up in Shibuya. This one's seriously fucking crazy, dude, lol. The victim's corpse had all the blood completely drained out. They found them dead in the Inokashira station bathroom, and the corpse was really something. The skin had turned green all over. Freaky! Seriously, goddamn freaky! Lately, I'm starting to think that cult theories might even be true, TBH. There's no way someone would... I didn't read the last part. I bit my lips as I watched the messages flow. My imagination came very close to forming an image, but I was just barely able to keep the delusion at bay. I took a gulp of cola from the bottle to calm myself somewhat. Damn that Grim. He had to be ambushing me with like this on purpose. There's no way a person could do this. No reaction? How do you know so much about it? You're talking almost like you were there. Oh, I was, dude. Well, something like that. Also, I guess you're still not interested in this stuff, Neidhart. New gen and all that jazz. Not enough to follow it. Too busy grinding in ESO. Never change, old lightning fast Neidhart. A true video game addict that puts the rest of us to shame. That's why we love you. Wait, what was the video game addict? A term used to refer to someone that stays in their room and constantly plays video games for exceedingly long periods of time, often foregoing food and sleep. That's why we love you. Short for the full quote. That's why we love you. That's why we admire you. A quotation from a popular manga about bizarre adventures. Used to express awe at someone's capabilities. Often used sarcastically in reference to negative character traits such as pettiness. That's 3. That's 3 JoJo references. That's 3 of them. That's 3 of them now. I didn't really want to talk about New Gen, so I somehow managed to fool Grim into bringing the topic to an end. That's why we love you. That's why we admire you. By the way, take a look at this. Shady link. It says auction. What do you think? Like auctions.taboo.com or .co.jp? I'm sensing some serious bait. Last time he'd done this, he'd acted like it was some gory shit, only for it to be some random dumbass meme. This time could very well be the opposite. Wait, what was the new one? Bait. In fishing, it means to add bait to a hook. In net slang, however, it means to bait out reactions for people via posting provocative opinions or false information. The person doing the baiting then enjoys watching the angry reaction should the victim take the bait, often abbreviated as bait, B8. Last time he'd done this, he acted as if some gory shit would be a random dumbest meme. This time could very well be the opposite. Huh, you seriously don't know about it? About what? Are you actually a wrong-sider, Neidhart? Fuck off. Fuck off. Fine, what is it? What if I said it's related to your precious Sarah? What? For real? I had to look. We're being baited. We're being baited hard here. As far as I could tell, the URL looked like it was linked to some auction page, so it probably wouldn't crash my browser or hit me with anything mentally scarring. Crash. When a program or operating system stops functioning and closes. A number of web pages are designed to overload web browsers or cause the operating system to behave abnormally. Links to such pages are frequently posted on anonymous message boards without any form of warning. And in the worst case scenario, they can have serious effects on the computer of whoever visits the page. Slightly excited, I open the link. Type B in short supply. Hey, I know about this. We got a flyer for this, right? Was there something? Oh, wait. That dude was drained of all his blood. Oh, shit. Type B blood in short supply. It felt like I had seen that title somewhere before. Might have been deja vu again. Anyway, more importantly, where'd that fap-worthy Saraton pick? I spun my mouse wheel and scrolled down the page. We got gore baited. Why the fuck was that on that page? I could tell at a glance at the image that came up on the monitor was obviously gore. I averted my gaze to the left monitor in a panic and then quickly closed the browser. The gore had only been on my screen for less than 3 seconds, and the time I spent actually looking at it was even less than that, but even so. It's a picture of the course from the 4th New Gen case. From before the mass media started reporting on it. It's being sold on an auction like it's totally normal. It's like they're putting a price on the victim's tragic state itself. So basically the seller is 100% the New Gen culprit. Isn't that insane? The seller is a vamp buyer. But, well, actually, it's probably just some throwaway. Even so, this has already caused a total shitstorm online, been posted all over tons of image boards. There's even memes. It's like Rule 34. People do this shit way too fast, lol. Oh yeah, did you notice the dying message in the image? Dying message? It's written on the wall in the victim's blood. Still can't believe it's there. The Cobra Prob did it for shits and giggles. Hello? Neidhart's on, you alive? Is your comp frozen? Dying message. Wait, we had another one. Rule 34. If it exists, there is porn of it. A satirical rule in the internet stating that anything and everything has received pornographic material in some capacity. The term can also be used as a euphemism to refer to pornographic fan content in general. Another euphemism in the same vein is NSFW, or not safe for work, as opposed to SFW, safe for work content. I only seen the image for an instant, and yet...
ゲームだ。こんな世界は虚構のゲームの世界に違いないんだ。
Well, I've got good news for you. It is a game world, don't worry. The victim's last message, written sloppily in deep red blood, had been burned into my mind. No matter how much I tried not to think about it, the letters rose one by one on my closed eyelids, urging me to realize them.
なんであの言葉がここで出てくるんだ。
I knew those words all too well. Words I often murmured to myself. Words I asked nobody in particular. The words Grimm had first said when I jumped on ESO. It was like they were everywhere now. Those words that I had never actually said to anyone throughout my entire life. There it is. Chapter 3! We made it to Chapter 3. And with that, I think that's a good place to wrap this up for tonight. Late night Shibuya 4 a.m. Alright, let me save this. Okay. Back to my menu. Yeah, because with how long they take, I think doing a chapter stream is probably a good place to... That was a big thunder sound. I don't know if it picked it up on the mic, but goddamn. Index entry 135. Wait, let me see it. Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot to show you guys. This is the extra menu, looks like. It's like a computer terminal thing. Can I not go to the other things? I'm only allowed to go to the... I can't go to CG library or sound library or anything, or... Okay, alright. I can only go to the tips. I only know the password for the tips, I guess. We got 8 hours and 55 minutes of gameplay. Album achievement rate 13%. Whose eyes are those eyes? 16%. I don't know what that percentage means. And reach endings. We haven't reached any. There's 9 endings. And you said entry 135. That's why we love you. You know, get your JoJo references. Alright, well... I don't know if it does the, like, playing the videos or whatever while I'm in this part of the menu if I leave it idle, but anyways, thank you so much to everybody for coming to hang out, coming to chill. Like I said, we just ended this at the end of Chapter 2. I think that's a pretty good stopping point. I think when we do these streams, we'll play through a whole chapter, and that's probably a good way to do it. And then once we start getting to, like, endings and stuff, we'll figure out how we're supposed to traverse through those to get all the endings and stuff. Eventually, with our playthroughs, we're going to be going through, like, all the different options they can do for, like, positive or negative or no delusion. So there's going to be some replayability way later on. But for now, we're just going to play it straight through and see what we get for our initial ending. But thank you so much, everybody, for coming to hang out. Probably continue this again next week. Probably same day, same time. But we'll see how it goes with my planning. We will not be having a book club stream tomorrow. We are having a stream. I believe we're going to be continuing Finding Cinderella. I think that was my current plan. No, that's wrong. Finding Cinderella I wrote for Saturday. We're doing Shadowverse tomorrow, which I have downloaded. Apparently, it says I launched it before. I don't remember playing it before, but I have Shadowverse. It's on my computer now. So we could try that out tomorrow. Because there's no book club tomorrow. Book club, we've voted and decided we're going to be reading the Umineko manga. So if you're interested in getting in on that, then hop into the Discord at discord.wolfborg.com. Come hang out with us. Grab yourself the anime book club roll. Come talk with us. And come check out the streams when they happen every Thursday at 9 o'clock now. Not this Thursday, but starting next Thursday. So, And I also made up like a little schedule of like all the chapters we're supposed to read. Now, if you're in the chat right now and you're listening, you are a part of the book club, keep in mind the chapter numbers you're supposed to stop at for these. Keep in mind, because it'll say that that's not the end of your volume, but we're going based off of the English omnibus release of the Umineko manga volumes, not the Japanese releases, which separated all the volumes. The omnibuses combined them, but for some of them, their like chapter numbers are slightly different for when they end. So just keep in mind the chapter numbers that you're supposed to read up to. And you know me, I'm gonna message you guys about that. But anyways, thank you so much for everybody for hanging out for our Chaos Head Delusion hours. We've been streaming for almost 4 hours. I think that went quicker than the last time we did, so that's good. And we'll just keep going at this kind of pace. Every chapter is going to be a stream. So thank you so much, everybody. I love you all. I'll speak to you later. Goodbye, gamers. Don't go crazy. But also don't trust 3D girls. Be careful with the Mickey D's. Stay safe.